in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Federal authorities are now pressuring banks to spy on the transactions of conservatives. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and this is yet another reason why you need a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To find out more, text the word HEDGE to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Secure your IRA or 401k right now. Text the word HEDGE to 989898 to request your free info kit.
Message and data rates may apply.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
5:11. Let's check the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. One problem, I-55. It's on the southbound side between Joliet Road and Route 53. Major accident, center lane blocked, and it is in a construction zone. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Rose Tamburino.
Today, we could get some ponding on the streets and highways. The high today, 47. Occasional rain and drizzle still tonight, the low 36. Cloudy tomorrow, the high 44. And then sunny skies Sunday, the high 48. I'm Rose Tamburino on AM 560. The Answer.
Clouds everywhere. 45 at O'Hare, 42 in Aurora, 46 in Joliet, 45 in Romeoville, 41 along the lakefront. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answers starts next on AM 560. The Answer.
You know what happens when a smart group of medical professionals get together and commit to a technology designed to relieve your aching joints without surgery? It's called QC Kinetics.
And this guy knows the power of a solid team. Emmitt Smith, football legend and Dancing with the Stars champ.
This elite medical group, some of them orthopedic doctors, got together and said, why are we prescribing so many medications? Why are we sending so many people to surgery in droves? Let's change this.
The answer? Natural biologics, our own healing properties. And the outcome is the country's largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments, QC Kinetics.
Actually, the real outcome are the tens of thousands of patients who finally got their quality of life back without surgery, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
It's easy to see. We're being conned by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media is distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the harsh realities facing American families. We all know something big is coming, and that's why so many folks are preparing. They're becoming more self-reliant by investing in emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, and they make it easy for you to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells large solar generators, gravity-powered water filtration systems, heirloom seeds for your garden, and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your items will ship that same day. Time is short. Prepare today. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Rick Borick, host of Unleash Your Wealth, talks about the importance of tax planning in retirement.
A qualified financial planner can take you through all the steps to show you every single legal way you can use to reduce and minimize your state income taxes across the board so that, again, you keep more of your money and your family keeps more of your money.
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and our new time at 2 p.m. here on AM 560, The Answer.
When you're serious about your concealed carry training and education and are ready to learn from an active police officer with a teaching degree, check out Illinois Concealed Carry Training in Midlothian. You'll learn safe, responsible firearm use, home defense planning, conflict avoidance, situational awareness, and how to remain physically, morally, and financially safe in the event you must use your firearm in self-defense or the defense of another. Weekday and weekend classes available.
I'm Sergeant Gary Carr, police firearms trainer and the owner of Illinois Concealed Carry Training. We'll arm you with what really counts: knowledge and training. All concealed carry curriculums are not created equal. This may be the single most important decision you'll ever make for yourself and your loved ones. Choose between 3 and 16-hour classes that are available both weekdays and weekends. We are your one-stop for concealed carry classes, fingerprints, and legal defense plans.
Register for a class today and get 10% off class fees with promo code AM560. Visit IllinoisConcealedCarry.com. That's IllinoisConcealedCarry.com.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Chief among Americans' complaints against President Biden's Justice Department has been selective prosecution. It seems those on the right are prosecuted for conduct the left engages in with impunity. One federal judge in California agreed. He's thrown out charges against right-wing rioters on the grounds of selective prosecution. The rioters attended a pro-Trump free speech rally in 2017. Leftist rioters, who attend such events to fight the right-wing groups, came primed for violence and attacked Trump supporters and police. The Biden Justice Department charged them under the Anti-Riot Act. Subsequently, the district court judge dismissed charges based on selective prosecution. He noted that the leftist groups instigated much of the violence and by many accounts behaved worse than the right-wing groups. But the Biden Justice Department has appealed. It seems their old habits die hard. One thing is clear. It's time for equal justice in America again.
You are a creator. You've been inspired to design and craft incredible works of art. But nothing derails you like not having the right materials you need to get the project done. K&S Precision Metals prides itself on having the right metal pieces for you to be a maker. With a huge array of metal products for every part of your project, from beginning design to the finished product, K&S Precision Metals provides brass, aluminum, copper, stainless steel tubing, wire, and more. K&S Precision Metals only supplies the highest quality metal items. Each piece is pure metal with no lead or fillers. You can feel good that your project is made with metal manufactured right here in the USA. K&S Precision Metals are used by the medical and movie industries, artists, crafters, engineers, and educators. Family owned and operated in Chicago for over 76 years. Most orders are shipped within a day. Order direct at ksmetals.com. That's ksmetals.com. K&S Precision Metals. Our materials, your creations.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-353-2973 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-353-2973. That's 800-353-2973. What do you have to lose? Call 800-353-2973. Again, 800-353-2973.
Have you been struggling to find an easy, safe, and secure document scanning solution for Salesforce.com, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, or OnBase by Highland? Your struggle is now over, and it's time to get your documents and operations into the 21st century. With IoT Smart Connected Scanning, it's easy to turn physical paper into digital documents and have them directly uploaded to the cloud with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. And you don't need a degree in computing or IT to make it happen. Using QR code technology uniquely configured for your specific business, anyone can set the IoT Smart Connected Scanning device up in 5 minutes or less, saving your organization money and valuable time. Remote employees can even capture documents and send them safely and seamlessly. Organize documents efficiently and securely with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. To see a demo or to order now, go to ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com. Use promo code SMART and receive 10% off your order. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning. So let's get to it. 312-642-5600. Turnkey.pro answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Mr. John Anthony is in for Dan Proft this morning.
Thanks for having me again.
So did you watch it last night?
I watched it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was infuriated. I just said one word: pathetic.
Pathetic. Well, he started out trying to be funny.
Good evening. If I were smart, I'd go home now.
And actually, I thought, yeah, that would be great. Or you could pull a Richard Nixon, who had one of the shortest State of the Union speeches ever, 29 minutes.
That would have been great.
That would have been great. But instead, I mean, he was a little late coming out of the house with Jill.
A little.
Well,
yeah.
like
Wasn't
10
supposed to start
minutes?
at 8? I think he started at like 8:17, 8:20 or something like that.
And then, he had to say hi to people, and people were saying hi to him and throwing themselves at him like he was Jesus and the resurrection's coming. But I thought that the whole event, well, obviously was orchestrated.
Correct.
And the whole time I was thinking, when's he going to drop? When's he going to go down? It was, watching Greg Gutfeld at Fox on 5 said it best. He said, it's like watching Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
And you're just waiting to see when he flies over the water fountain at Caesar Palace in Vegas. Is he going to fall in the water?
Oh.
Is he going to clear the barrels? Is he going to clear the cars? Because that's what it was like.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just watching that stoic look on his face.
A doddering old fool. The best part of the evening, though.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to wait because the only reason why I watched is, well, one, because I have to because that's my job. But I want to know about immigration. And I really thought he'd reverse those 96 executive orders from Trump before tonight because I thought that would be the only way to save his campaign.
Yeah.
He didn't do it, though.
No.
Did not do it.
He did not. And Lincoln Riley, too.
Lakin.
No, Lincoln.
It's Lakin.
I know what it is.
So when he was walking in, Marjorie Taylor Greene was there with her,
Yeah.
your hat, your Make America Great hat, and she was like, say her name. Say her name. And I thought, this girl's got some chutzpah. Huh? Isn't
does.
she great? I mean, she.
Yeah. Did you hear his response?
She's got some onions. Oh, no. We'll
Yeah.
play it. But, so 40 minutes in. Well, I'm waiting. I'm tapping my toe, waiting for him to talk about immigration.
I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress in the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we change the dynamic at the border, people pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by and let into the country, it's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing. And it's worth taking the chance of the $8,000. But if it's only 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. What the problem with is what he said is, yeah, it used to take 6 weeks to get your asylum hearing. Now it's 6 months. It's really not that. It's more like 3 years.
Yeah.
That's his fault.
That's
on you, buddy.
Yeah.
That's not on anybody.
Yeah.
And her death was obviously preventable because the government failed her on so many levels.
Yes.
They failed her at the border. They failed her in New York. They failed her in Georgia.
They did.
So the Lincoln Riley Act was passed, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, we want to take your phone calls. Let's go to Philip in Blue Island. Let's get into it early.
Good morning.
It's too early, man.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's only way to describe one way to describe her for me is a lowlife. For her to just attempt over and over. First, she wants the camera on her. Second of all, she's just trying to distract Biden. She wants him to stumble. She wants him to get off track. She wants him to what's the word that you all use when they make a mistake? A gaffe, a major gaffe. And he didn't. He stayed on point. He stayed focused. He stayed presidential. One of the better speeches that I've ever seen him give. And the Republicans were in their childish mode. They don't want to be agreeable with anything. They don't stand up and clap for anything. Even the thing they talked about in Hamas with the ship they're going to put out. Nothing even seemingly like they want to be a part of this union to make it better. So that's basically all I got.
So did he give you hope, or because I felt more or less it was a rant. It was definitely a campaign speech and not a State of the Union, not a unifying message
at all.
What did you walked away feeling better about America? Because the first thing he talked about was Ukraine and not America.
Right.
Well, yeah, but come on, it's a speech that he got to cover a lot of different subjects. And so, he could have been like Trump and talked for 2 hours and then not made a bit of difference in the policies and so forth and so on. So he took an hour and 10 minutes, whatever it was, and he cut it down and he said what he needed to say. And,
Phil,
it was a good,
Phil,
people you can't reach.
Phil, have you watched any of the past State of the Union speeches?
Sure.
Okay, and you've seen the Democrats with their rancor and they're yelling at President Trump when he was president, George W. Bush when he was president, Nancy Pelosi tearing up the documents. And you want to say the Republicans are what?
Well, what I would like to say is the decorum is lost, and it started with you lie.
Okay, because he did lie.
Yeah, with Joe Wilson.
No. But I'm talking
Carolina.
I'm sorry?
Well, that started years ago with Congressman Joe Wilson.
Yeah.
Just what, you lie. And he was talking to Obama.
And he was right.
Right. But usually that house is a place of decorum. It's a place of respect. And after and it started with Obama.
But he's not respecting us. But go on. I'm sorry. It started with Obama. Yes, we know.
Okay, so to try to make it like just because the Democrats act just as child is going after Trump, we're losing decorum. We're losing
Bush
our way.
too, though.
So we're trying. I'm sorry?
They did Bush, too. The Democrats went after Bush. This didn't start with Obama. This started during the Bush administration as well. The Democrats losing their freaking minds.
Okay, if you say so, John.
Okay. I'm glad you like Biden's America.
Well, I just like America, regardless of what you think. I like America, and I just think that
just the black people, right?
No, come on, John. I mean, come on, no, come on, stop. Because I even like Amy. Amy know I like her. So stop.
Well, Philip, but wait, real quick, before we let you go, because we have to take other calls. Is your life better than it was 4 years ago? I know it's a low-hanging fruit question, but is it?
Personally, yes.
Well, financially?
Personally, yes.
Yeah. But I guarantee he's paying more for food. He's paying more for gas. So tell me how it's better.
Energy costs. Yeah. Paying more for rent. If you're renting, you're paying more for mortgage rates.
Actually, I'm not.
Okay.
Actually, my rent has been the same for years.
All right.
But no, I understand what you're saying. But again, I think a lot of the programs that he mentioned about bringing in with child credit and all these other things that he was mentioning, I don't want to be too much longer. So it was a good speech, and it was a hopeful speech, and it was a progressive speech.
It was great because of the potato chips and Snicker bars and all that type of stuff. That's
what are you talking
we're
about?
getting less Snicker bars and less potato chips. That's what he said.
Too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why it's cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer. Same size bag, put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation.
Yeah. All right. So coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we will take more of your calls. So if you're on the line, hold on the line and keep trying if you can't get through. And we'll let you know how President Biden got revved up for the big show last night. You're going to love it.
Uh-oh.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
In Chicago, 44 degrees. At 5:30 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. President Biden declaring his State of the Union strong and getting stronger. In his opinion, in his third State of the Union address Thursday night, the president laid out his vision for the nation as he heads into another general election campaign.
Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not.
The rebuttal of President Biden's State of the Union was done by GOP Alabama Senator Katie Britt.
One thing was quite clear, though. President Biden just doesn't get it. He's out of touch.
While speaking from Montgomery, Alabama, saying Americans deserve a leader who isn't dithering and diminished. U.S. Capitol Police say they arrested a Gold Star father for heckling President Biden during the State of the Union address. The man's son was a Marine killed along with 12 other service members during a suicide attack in Afghanistan in 2021. The trial of a Michigan father charged in connection with a deadly school shooting carried out by his teenage son continues. However, James Crumbly's communications from jail are now limited to only his lawyer. He's accused of making threats from behind bars. The village of Flossmoor's mayor shared a letter Thursday evening that looks to be firing the village's police chief, Gerald Jones. The letter mentioning performance as a reason for allegedly firing Jones. Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago will lay off 300 employees as it cuts dozens of government contracts in response to an increasingly uncertain government funding environment. The organization plans to end 75 government contracts starting July 1. Get ready for a big summer of construction on the Kennedy Expressway. Weather permitting on Monday night, the Kennedy reversibles will close for Phase 2 of the expressway's 3-year project.
In the long run, you should see less maintenance on your cars, so that's something you can think about. And then it's just a smoother commute.
John Schumacher with IDOT. Bulls come through in the clutch and beat Golden State 125-122 last night. They visit the Clippers tomorrow. The Bears locked down quarterback Jalen Johnson, removing the franchise tag and replacing it with a 4-year, $76 million contract. Well, it's that magic time of year in college hoops. In the Missouri Valley Tournament yesterday, UIC edges Southern Illinois 84-82 in double overtime. News is powered by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping the lights on when unexpected storms cause loss of power at your business. Get help quickly at CharlesEquipment.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Brandon Tatum sees more shenanigans in Georgia.
So they lied about their relationship until 2022. Because let me tell you why. If they were to say we were in a relationship before I was appointed, then that's a clear sign that this was not an impartial appointment. So they make up a lie and say we got together a few months after I got appointed. It's all strategic.
The Officer Tatum Show. Weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
Imagine what your future looks like. Is the picture a little blurry? Hey, it's Sean Thompson here for Alpha Wealth Group. When we look ahead, we're visualizing where we want to be, and for retirement, that can be hard without a written financial plan. Tom Fortino of Alpha Wealth Group can help you bring your retirement picture into focus. For decades, Tom has been crafting customized financial strategies. His goal is to help you protect your savings, grow your wealth, and create an income strategy you cannot outlive. If you're nearing or already in retirement, it's time to get your plan on paper. So bring your readers and let's take a look at it closely. Call Tom at 630-934-1855 and schedule a complimentary retirement consultation. There is no cost. There is no obligation. This is a chance to get a clearer view of your retirement. The number again is 630-934-1855 or visit alphawealthgroup.com. And listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings right here on AM 560 The Answer.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Do you know what elected officials in Illinois are doing with your tax dollars? Do you want to make sure that your voice is heard? If so, then you need Blue Room Stream, a live and archived video streaming service that provides access to government meetings and events. With Blue Room Stream, you can watch how your elected officials make decisions, hold them accountable for their actions, and be a more informed citizen. Blue Room Stream is the perfect way to get involved in the democratic process and to make a difference in your community. Subscribe today at blueroomstream.com.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Hugh Hewitt weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, followed by Mike Gallagher at 9. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Xumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Xumo.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RADIO for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code RADIO.
5:38, let's check the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time is the service of Turnkey.pro. Their team of veteran consultants know how to reduce cost and grow new revenue streams, all without having to hire on-site professionals. Turnkey has solutions for your business. Visit turnkey.pro, turnkey.pro. I-55. Stop and go traffic on the northbound side between Route 53 and Joliet Road. It's all due to an accident on the entrance ramp, on the on-ramp from US 30, causing those gapers delays this morning. Jane Addams, disabled vehicle, blocking the right lane of an exit ramp. It's on the westbound off-ramp to Barrington Road. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Rainy and gloomy today, high 47. Rain and drizzle 36 overnight. Tomorrow, considerable cloudiness, some light rain showers, very gusty winds, and you need to spring forward tomorrow night as well. A high of 44 in the afternoon, dropping to a low of 28 overnight. 45 at O'Hare, 46 at Midway, 44 in Lansing, and your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
312 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636. Type in DA. Did Biden restart his campaign last night with the speech, the State of the Union? You know, it's the last speech before his election.
Yeah.
So he had a big audience. He could have had a big audience at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the most watched Super Bowl
agree.
ever. Passed it up. Then he had last night, and then he'll have the DNC convention here in Chicago. Those are the big, large audiences. Did he do it? Did he hit a home run? 312-642-5600. I will tell you this. Lincoln Riley is the head football coach at USC.
Yeah.
And was at South Carolina.
Yeah.
So maybe he got confused, but I'm not giving him a pass on that. He knows damn well who she is. And then he looked up at his wife when he was talking about, we know what it's like to lose a child.
Yeah.
And there was an empty seat actually there for her because Mike Collins from Georgia, the congressman, invited her family, her parents to come, and they, respectively declined. But
Which I would have done.
yeah, it's too soon, and it's, maybe they never want to be political.
Yeah, I agree. Because they probably would have been, walked out in handcuffs too.
Well, one person that was walked out in handcuffs, now that you mention it, is Gold Star father Steve McKay, and I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. I do not mean to be disrespectful, but his son, Colonel Kareem was killed at Abbey Gates. Remember Afghanistan and that deadly withdrawal? So I don't know as a parent if I was in a room with a man who made the reckless and poor decision to withdraw from Afghanistan, and it ended up in the death and the murder of 13 Marines, including your own son. Here he is.
All Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office.
No, it's not.
Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then,
This one made me
through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add.
First of all, we're going to address the safety issue later, but that dad, it made me emotional.
Yeah.
Because you could just you could feel the raw pain that he is still going through.
Yeah. See, I was listening on the radio, so I didn't see it. 'Cause you could barely make out what he was saying.
Yeah, he's saying Abbey Gates, the U.S. Marines, and he was yelling as loud as he could with all the power that he had.
And then they cuff him.
And then they arrested him. Took him out, cuffs behind his back.
Yeah. So he was
disgusting.
What was he doing? Interrupting the official proceeding? Is that what they're going to get him on?
Yeah. Now, what were you saying? How did these people interrupting?
Oh yeah.
During the State of the
Mr. Phil from Blue Island. You know, I don't say nothing if I don't know what I'm talking about. I shut my mouth. When I don't know what I'm talking about, I shut my mouth. 1975, Gerald Ford's speech. The Watergate babies walk out, and Mike Scott came in here and confirmed it. Then 2005, Bush, Social Security, they booed him. So to say that the Republicans,
oh, that's right, there were a bunch of boo bears there. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so it didn't start. It didn't start during the Obama administration.
But I don't mind. I mean,
I don't either.
Because he's got to be confronted.
Yeah,
I
bet you it was more House members
through life with these lies. He said the economy's fine.
Yeah,
the economy's not fine. Mortgage rates are going to go down, are they?
I know the cost of housing is so important to you. If inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well.
And, of course, the border crisis, not his doing.
No.
No. It's the House Republicans' fault, John Anthony.
I know that.
I would respectfully suggest my Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now. And if my predecessor is watching, instead of paying politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what he apparently hears, what he will not do.
What he apparently hears, what he will not do.
Amy, Trump was trolling him. Trump was trolling him on Truth Social. He says the drugs are wearing off. He says the coughing. Coughing.
Oh, the coughing was, I think he's not well.
Yeah. But Israel has Israel has a added burden.
But I mean, he's an 81-year-old man.
But you know, did you hear anything about East Palestine?
No.
Yeah. He didn't bring that up at all. The destruction that happened in that community.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was a divisive speech, and it wasn't meant to unify. It was just yelling. That He was rancorous. He had nothing to lose because he has the lowest approval ratings ever.
Yeah.
So his is trying to restart it. He fell short.
I thought about something when I heard him say something in the speech.
What?
Did you know COVID is curing cancer now?
I'm sorry.
COVID is curing cancer now.
Is this your soundbite for?
Yeah. What?
Here it is.
The vaccine that saved us from COVID are now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback.
Oh, this just in, really?
Yeah.
Because remember, when he was the VP, he was in charge of curing cancer.
Yeah, I remember.
So now he's found the vaccine.
He's found the vaccine, but
well,
let's not talk about them. How many people died from this vaccine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Justin, can you hop on? Because Justin told me something the other day that I was shocked first, and my friend finally went back to work after 4 years.
Oh, yeah, I heard you say that.
And Justin, what did the White House press crew have to go through every day?
I read somewhere, and it was confirmed by a journalist who was in the White House press pool, that they had to test every day for COVID for the last 4 years. And up until like 2 days ago, it was required.
Yeah, to get into the press briefing.
4 years.
4 years. Can you imagine getting something shoved up your nose or maybe up your buttocks?
Oh, yeah.
For 4 years.
Amy, ouch.
No, thank you.
Ooh.
Well, thanks for bringing us. I missed that.
Yeah.
I must have gone to my happy place. All right, the phone lines are open. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Larry in Elmhurst, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. Before I get to my point, the only ones that would think that was an inspiring speech are the kids that are getting their tuitions paid for, and somebody who's been on the system from cradle to grave. But he's beginning to sound like Archie Bunker when he made that statement about giving everybody a gun on the plane. This guy is out of his mind. He is totally nuts.
Yeah. Thank you for the phone call. That's whew.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher, Amy.
And of course, it was all about women's reproductive rights and abortion.
My predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power.
Get it right,
it's wearing off.
You're about to realize just how much you were right about that.
You just realized how much. Can anybody complete that sentence? You just realized how much.
He also said
Because
something.
you don't talk down to the Supreme Court justice.
No, that's Obama
he
started
did.
that. Obama did start that,
Right.
talking down to the justices.
But then
during
I'm
the
saying I
speech.
couldn't figure out his closing line.
But he also said something about abortion. He said that Roe v. that the overturning of it is what caused the mayhem. No, the decision of Roe v. Wade caused the mayhem because it was not law.
But see, he said if you elect me for 4 more years, I will reverse Roe v. Wade. How the heck is he going to do that?
Yeah.
Does he know how he's going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna stuff the mail-in ballots.
Oh yeah. Bob in Buffalo Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Amy, and great to hear you again, John.
Hey, good morning, brother.
Dan took a bad day to take off with all the topics that are going to be mentioned today. With regards to the speech yesterday, I could weigh in on a lot of things, but here's one takeaway that I had. Did I mishear him say that Biden had 2 heroes, RFK and Martin Luther King? What about JFK?
Well,
He didn't reach to. Did I miss that? I mean,
I thought it was Roosevelt.
Yeah.
I was confused because he came out talking about him right away.
Yeah.
That was like right off the bat.
Well, he does want to be more progressive than him, so I mean, there's that.
That's why there's a picture of him in the Oval Office.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, Bob. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, did you want to say something else, Bob?
Yeah, and then of course he would never mention somebody that had the courage, which was LBJ. LBJ knew he had a failed presidency and stepped down. When is he going to realize he's had a failed presidency and going to step down?
He won't.
Very good point, Bob. Thank you so much for calling in. He's our favorite engineer, don't you know?
Yes, I do.
I
get the messages in the emails.
Marty in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Great show and great topic, of course. Couple things. Number one, last hour, your last guy leads off with this great speech. He leads off with Marjorie Taylor Greene. He didn't like her, so, you know. Number two, he brings up decorum. I love when the Democrats bring up decorum with that dog-faced California woman telling everybody go disrupt your dinners, blah, blah, blah. Number two, he did not say to his wife, we lost a child. He says, I've lost children, too. I mean, you just go on and on. The thing about curing cancer, and then he's talking about he's going to bring credit card rates down and something to do with Snickers. You don't get as many Snickers. Then don't eat the Snickers. You just can't make this stuff up. But people fall for it, man, and they just completely fall for this stuff. And did you see what's his name with his mask on?
Oh, Bernie Sanders, yes.
Oh,
you knew there'd always be one, and it's him. That's my Christmas ornament.
The beginning, he's talking to everybody without his mask on when they're showing him, and then all of a sudden they show him, and the idiot's got the mask on. Maybe he's, I don't know, maybe that's how we cure cancer. We put masks on. I don't know. I mean, I don't mean to make light of it, but you know, it was just a joke all the way around. And if I hear the word my predecessor again.
Oh, I know. He wouldn't say Trump. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
He wouldn't say Trump, but he kept saying over and over again, my predecessor. And at times he would just start yelling.
Yeah.
And I'm going,
Yeah.
And then sometimes he would speed
whatever
up.
juice they're giving him probably pushed him.
Well, I was thinking he was late because he was getting a few B12 shots.
Yeah.
Or maybe slamming some balance of nature. I don't know.
I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation.
Here we go.
Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy, a future based on core values that have defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor. Now, other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution. That's not me.
That's not
predecessor.
him.
You could say his name.
Wait, that's not him, but he's going after his opponent, who's now the Republican nominee. But you're going after him. Yeah. Okay.
What I learned yesterday, he wants to increase the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. He lied, and he said that wages keep going up while inflation comes down. That's a lie. Yeah. Another lie. Where's my wages go up? Anywho, that's a lie because real earnings are down 2.1% under Biden, and inflation overall prices are up nearly 18%. Food prices up 21%. Rent 19%, and power costs 29%.
Yeah, but Phil's not being affected by that.
Oh no, yeah. Just put your head in the sand. Maybe it'll go away, maybe it won't. But his speech yesterday inspired me for Trump. I mean, I am ready.
Yes.
I am ready for the sequel. I can tell you that much. Carl in Northlake, you're on Chicago's Morning.
Good morning. Hey, he did say in his 2019 campaign that he was going to cure cancer. So, now he said he cured cancer, so we got that. But all the free stuff he was saying we're going to get. Not to worry. We're going to go with the millennial monetary policy that's worked so well in Venezuela. Just print more money. Yeah. You'll need a wheelbarrow to get a loaf of bread, but hey, it's all good.
He's a capitalist. Don't forget that.
Oh, right. Oh, yes. He loves it.
Look, I'm a capitalist. If you want to make or can make $1 million or millions of bucks, that's great. Just pay your fair share in taxes.
I'm going to tax the hell out of
you. In fact, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires? 8.2%. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse.
See, I hate that.
It's the same song and dance routine. They bring it out. You know, the rich and the wealthy aren't paying their fair share, and then they bring it back in, and then they bring it out. Last night it was out. They'll
Do you
crawl
remember
back
Rush?
in the hole.
Rush used to have the numbers up. The top 1% pays 65% of all taxes. Or maybe it might have been a higher number. But when he says that, and when he tries to put teachers on the same par as billionaires, come on, Joe. You know they're not paying the same amount. They're not outputting the same amount of cash. Come on, he knows this.
Let's go to, I love, there's so many phone calls. Let's go to Phil in Maryville. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, if everyone paid attention, his last State of the Union he did, almost majority of his talking points this time around was the same, besides all the few lies he talked about. I mean, just like he was saying, America's safer. He hasn't obviously seen all the carjackings, shootings. January 6th was the biggest thing since the Civil War, he said. There's never been an insurrection without weapons, and where 90% of the people are being held under trespassing. I mean, this guy is one of the biggest liars out there. I can only watch maybe half to 3/4 of it, and I shut it off because it's like listening to a vegetable talk. But thanks, guys. That's all I got.
All right. And you know how he got pumped up for the event?
No.
He thought it'd be cool and hip and, social media star if he got advice from 5 Hollywood actors who played presidents on TV. Are you ready? Oh, this is great.
Some of you might know what a big speech like I have to do is coming up State of the Union. Any advice you have for me in delivering my speech?
Well, sir, in my capacity as president,
Morgan Freeman.
all I had to deal with was a meteor.
There's no crying in politics.
Well, what I hope is my politics doesn't make anybody else cry.
Don't forget to save a dance for the First Lady in the East Room.
And Michael Douglas. And then you guess who else was there? The star from Scandal.
Oh.
You want to get advice from a
Washington?
president who's involved in scandals so much that the show is called Scandals?
Lord have mercy.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Have you been struggling to find an easy, safe, and secure document scanning solution for Salesforce.com, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, or OnBase by Highland? Your struggle is now over, and it's time to get your documents and operations into the 21st century. With IoT Smart Connected Scanning, it's easy to turn physical paper into digital documents and have them directly uploaded to the cloud with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. And you don't need a degree in computing or IT to make it happen. Using QR code technology uniquely configured for your specific business, anyone can set the IoT Smart Connected Scanning device up in 5 minutes or less, saving your organization money and valuable time. Remote employees can even capture documents and send them safely and seamlessly. Organize documents efficiently and securely with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. To see a demo or to order now, go to ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com. Use promo code SMART and receive 10% off your order. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
You know what? I actually am starting to feel better every day. Every day a little better.
I've been with you all a while now. I swear by it. Yeah, I love it. I bought a lot of stuff that didn't work before, but they do help me a lot. I tell everybody about it. I tell all my friends. I swear by it.
I've been taking it for years. I am 65, and the stuff that I'm able to do it amazes people that are in their 40s.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, we'll have the Republican response to the State of the Union address. And is it possible that there will be no Biden-Trump debate? We'll talk about that. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
Measles diagnosed for the first time since 2019 in Chicago. And the Chicago School Board bill is on the governor's desk. Bulls take down the Warriors in the final seconds. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
He says the State of the Union is strong. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and President Biden told us last night,
when America gets knocked down, we get back up.
And on the biggest issue for many Republicans,
we can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it.
And the president brought up Laken Riley's name.
An innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals?
Telling her parents, as someone who's lost children, he knows what they're going through. The president also often took aim at his likely rematch rival, but not by name.
My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th.
Fox's Madeline Rivera reports.
His tone defiant as he tries to quell voters' concerns about his age, mental acuity, and whether he has what it takes to run the country for another 4 years. While Democrats praised his energy, Republicans say his speech was partisan and divisive. Former President Trump saying he was angry, mentally disturbed, and misrepresenting a lot of the facts concerning almost every subject he discussed.
Joe Biden is on the run from his record and lying like crazy to try and escape accountability for the horrific devastation he and his party have created.
At times, the president was cheered by Democrats, booed by Republicans, even heckled by an angry dad in the gallery who was removed.
U.S. Capitol Police say they arrested 51-year-old Stephen Nakui. He's a Gold Star father. His son is Kareem Nakui, who was killed during the administration's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Fox's Chad Pergram. 13 American troops were killed in that 2021 suicide bombing. Back to the president. Despite a majority of Americans disapproving of his handling of the economy, he touted
15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record.
This morning, we'll get the February hiring report that is expected to show 200,000 new jobs and the unemployment rate remaining 3.7%. America's listening to Fox News.
It's 44 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. Get set for a big summer of construction on the Kennedy Expressway. Monday night, weather permitting, the Kennedy reversibles will close for Phase 2 of the expressway's 3-year project.
In the long run, you should see less maintenance on your cars, so that's something you can think about. And then it's just a smoother commute.
John Schumacher with IDOT says the express lanes will get fully rehabbed and also get new gates to keep up with technology for a smoother commute. Positive case of measles has been reported in Chicago, the first since 2019, according to the Chicago Department of Public Health. The source is still unknown, but those at the Galter Medical Pavilion at Swedish Hospital or those riding the CTA 92 Foster bus the morning of February 27 may have been exposed. The state itself saw about 5 cases last year. A bill that would give Chicago a hybrid school board and control of that board by the mayor is on the desk of Governor J.B. Pritzker. A 20-person board would be split evenly between mayorally appointed chairs, and the city would vote on the other half. Governor Pritzker has been vocally supportive of the initiative that many vocal critics say is a gift to the Chicago Teachers Union. Bulls over the Warriors, 125-122. DeMar DeRozan finishing with 33, and the Warriors say, and head coach Steve Kerr says the Bulls are playing the best basketball in the NBA right now.
We just got outplayed. Chicago was great. They've been playing well. You know, I was pretty worried just because you could see the force that they were playing with and the confidence, and they came in and earned it.
Chicago on a 3-game win streak. They visit the Clippers tomorrow. The Bears take the franchise tag off cornerback Jalen Johnson and replace it with a 4-year, $76 million deal, $54 million in guaranteed money. Spring baseball, Cubs and Cincinnati tied at 2. White Sox lost to the Brewers 8-2. College hoops, Missouri Valley tournament, UIC edged Southern Illinois 84-82 in double overtime, while the Redbirds of Illinois State lost to Evansville 59-53. The news is delivered to you by Quick Delivery Service. Ground delivery when you need it from safe, licensed professionals. Go to quickdelivery.com now to schedule your delivery. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Should biological men be allowed to compete against women? Should women be forced to share locker rooms with biological men? This is the fight that All-American swimmer Riley Gaines is fighting across America as she advocates for the safety, privacy, and quality of women and girls in sports. See Riley Gaines live in Chicagoland on Friday, March 22nd, presented by Breakthrough Ideas and the Parents Matter Coalition. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/tickets. That's 560theanswer.com/tickets.
You know, our friends at Henry Repeating Arms, they manufacture a line of very high-quality rifles, shotguns, and revolvers that you can be very proud to own. Now, they're made in America with parts and materials also from America. Now, they use old-world craftsmanship combined with cutting-edge technology to deliver reliable and accuracy that you can trust in any situation. Now, they're easy to use and maintain. It makes them an excellent choice for both a novice and experienced shooter. Henry has over 200 models, so you can find the firearm that's right for you. There's also new releases all throughout the year. And every purchase is backed by their lifetime warranty and the company's owner. Anthony Imperato also gives his personal guarantee for 100% satisfaction. Now, make sure you go to their website, henryusa.com. Order their free catalog. They'll send you free decals and a list of dealers where you are. That's henryusa.com. Free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are. You're going to love this company and these firearms like I do.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements. Changing the world one life at a time.
You know what? I actually am starting to feel better every day. Every day a little better.
I've been with you all a while now. I swear by it. Yeah, I love it. I bought a lot of stuff that didn't work before, but they do help me a lot. I tell everybody about it. I tell all my friends. I swear by it.
I've been taking it for years. I am 65, and the stuff that I'm able to do it amazes people that are in their 40s.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
6:07. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. 8094 accident on the entrance ramp. It's on the on-ramp from Ripley on the westbound side. That car is spun into the ditch. Big delays this morning already on the Bishop Ford, jamming into the Ryan Merge, backed up to 103rd. The Edens disabled vehicle left lane blocked inbound at Toohey. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Rose Tamburino.
Rain today. We could get some ponding on the roadways. The high today 47. Occasional rain and drizzle tonight, the low 36. Considerably cloudy tomorrow, the high 44. Sunshine Sunday, the high 48. I'm Rose Tamburino on AM 560. The Answer.
45 at O'Hare, 46 at Midway, 42 in Aurora, 41 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Dissecting the State of the Union. Good morning, Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft. Rolling right along here.
Yes.
That what have we learned from last night? Besides that he's a cantankerous man who stayed up way too late past his bedtime.
This is true.
What did you say?
I said this is true.
Oh, yes. The Republican response, by the way, was by Senator Katie Britt. She's the youngest Republican senator serving right now.
Yeah.
And you just reminded me of?
Who?
I mean, she seems like a lovely lady, and she was at her kitchen table talking about, kitchen table issues, the economy, inflation, gas prices, you name it. But most importantly, immigration, because that's what most people tuned in to see. Because I honestly thought that he was going to reverse the 96 executive orders before the State of the Union and then come out and reveal that, because then we'd feel a sense of safety. That didn't happen. No, it did not.
Look, we all recall when presidents faced national security threats with strength and resolve. That seems like ancient history. Right now, our commander-in-chief is not in command. The free world deserves better than a dithering and diminished leader. America deserves leaders who recognize that secure borders, stable prices, safe streets, and a strong defense are actually the cornerstones of a great nation. Just ask yourself, are you better off now than you were 3 years ago? There's no doubt we're at a crossroads, and it doesn't have to be this way. We all feel it.
I understand her passion. Yeah. But she reminded me a little bit of Emily Landon from University of Chicago.
Really?
Just the breathiness and the drama. But she's right.
Yeah. She was nervous too, you could tell.
Oh yeah, she was completely nervous. 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line. Most Americans, didn't want to hear about a threat to our democracy. Because I think that they wanted to be they're more concerned about how to put food on the table rather than if Trump is that threat to democracy. And Biden, he had to address those concerns and explain how he's fighting for them, and he didn't do that. He was just an angry man, and he stuttered and stumbled a lot through this.
Hey, before you go to the call.
Is your microphone on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay,
can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I will say this. Biden is a threat to the republic. Trump is a threat to democracy, because I've said this. I just did a speech the other night for John Boris, who's running for the 3rd Congressional. And in the speech, I said, you know what? I want to see death to democracy. I want the republic back. Let's bring back who we are as Americans. This is a constitutional republic. And it irks me. And people said, this semantics. No, it's not. It's a difference in how we govern. But that's I can get on my soapbox with that. But I agree. Biden is a threat to the republic. Trump is a threat to democracy because he wants to destroy it.
Win, he viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner, not really.
A winner, not really. He got lost so many times. Somebody just texted in. John and Amy, my favorite quote from last night is "Blama hugga bugga ararababa."
What language is that?
It's Biden language. 312-642-5600. Let's go to Al in Rosemont. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Amy. Hey, John.
What's up, bro?
Real brief. Joe Biden's economy is where a plumber who makes $80,000 earn hourly wages feels like $50,000, and someone low income that makes $20,000, now their income feels like $40,000.
Yeah.
And so that's why it feels like it's getting better to them, and it's not getting better for us.
Right. I got a bone to pick with you too. I know.
What happened?
Oh, what is this inside baseball?
No,
now?
when he
What's
called
going
in
on?
the other day on the morning answer and saying that he's not affected by what's happening in Chicago. Fool, listen, Chicago is going down the ringer. You may not be affected by it.
I was talking about Chicago, the downtown scenery. Chicago is still better than Paris.
True, but I've been down there.
I don't know. I got to tell you, and this Laken-Riley Act that was passed by the House yesterday, and by the way, 170 Democrats voted against it.
Yeah.
Including my congressman, Quigley.
Yeah.
Voted against it. So what it is if an illegal, so they already broke the law once by coming here illegally. Yeah. If they get detained for theft, if they get arrested for theft, they have to be detained and then deported by ICE.
Yeah.
But the Democrats were saying that, detained indefinitely, that's not fair. Their due process is in jeopardy. I don't care.
Yeah.
That would have been, Laken-Riley's death would have been prevented.
Prevent him.
And then also, did you hear about this grotesque, this happened Saturday.
Yeah.
in the daylight. They were in court yesterday.
Yeah.
4 guys, 3 of them have already been arrested for theft, for stealing from a off Saks store, and from Ross Dress for Less store, whatever. So and by almost close to $1,000. So then they're on a train, the Pink Line, which I've never been on the Pink Line. I don't even know where the Pink
Where's
Line.
that at?
It's the Pink Line. I don't know. I know the green line, the orange, the
I got a joke,
red,
but I
the
won't
blue, the brown, the purple.
Yeah.
Not I don't pink, but his sister old man, so maybe it goes out there. But he was on the train. They lured him over. So he's a 40-year-old guy.
Yeah.
They blocked the door then so he couldn't go from car to car. And this 18-year-old grabs him and starts strangling him so badly that he soils himself. If he didn't soil himself, I think he'd be dead. Because they were like, ugh. And then they took money, $400 from his pocket, took his cell phone, took whatever they can, left him for dead there. And thank God there was Good Samaritans on that train who alerted authorities. And then those guys got off and they trapped them on that train.
Yeah.
And now they should be deported immediately.
See,
that's attempted murder.
Amy,
They were all out on pretrial.
I
All
would
of
be a
them.
Daniel Penny. I'm
Daniel,
sorry.
yeah.
Remember the guy, the Marine that got choked out the guy?
Oh, yeah.
See, that would be me. I couldn't sit there and allow that to happen in my presence.
Well, we're going to have former police superintendent Gary McCarthy, also deputy commissioner of NYPD, on at 7:35 to talk about that and possibly the real reason why the National Guard has been called up to police the subway.
Yeah.
Basically, they're TSA agents they take before you can get on the train.
I agree.
They check your bag, and they've got the
they're gonna be
long
doing
arms and the
that?
rifle. Oh, yeah. Oh, you haven't seen the video? Oh, yeah. And some people are mad because those people are scaring them just because they have long arms and machine guns. That's too scary.
Yeah.
Well, go back to your safe space or stay home.
That's why I will never take public transportation
Without
again. No, I'd rather drive and park in your garage.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
You do. You park in my garage. Just shut the garage after you leave
Okay,
my garage. Rich in Indian Head Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Rich, are you
Joe
there?
Pesci.
Rich, going once.
Come on, Joe Pesci.
Going twice. Rich, we'll put you on hold, see if we can get you back. Craig in Mount Greenwood, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Amy. Good morning, John.
What's up, brother?
Thanks for taking my call. Hey, listen. Hey, John, before I get to my point, my wife took in her, they wish me had it on and everything, and she's always said you were a nice guy, but she added something to it. She says, man, he's a good dad.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, listen. So what I got to say about this, that was one of the most infuriating things, and here's why. When you hear so many things, that's the opposite. When Biden and his band of pirates took over this White House and everything, and basically just destroying the country and the world, really, to such a degree, and then to stand there at that and give that speech, there's so many facts and figures where just the opposite. Our world the train is off the tracks in a major way. We're in real trouble financially, economically, safety, everything. All those things that he talked about and everything, it's just the opposite. It's just absolutely infuriating. And the people that clap and that think that's all okay, they're either insane or they're so dishonest. And that those people, they're just messed up and everything. Is that the way can you see how these people that clap like that, there's something really, really wrong with those folks.
I know.
Because
And
we're
then
living
all the Congress members, females were wearing white.
Again?
Suffragettes. Oh, yeah. They all had white on, as if they're being,
Yeah, and the whole thing is we're living it. So people are living it. We know exactly what the truth is. We know how bad things are. And he stands there and says these things that are just opposite. It's so infuriating, I can't even explain it.
I know. It was a bunch of lies about the economy, lies about mortgage rates, lies, and more
What
damn
he's
lies.
talking about, well, I'm a good dad. I missed my show last week because I had my 3 daughters, daddy-daughter dance.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
It was amazing. There was a lot of fathers there, too. A lot of fathers.
At what,
At
their
our
school dance or
yeah.
church?
A school. Well, school and church is all in the same.
I don't know if you missed this, but this is worth repeating because the ignorance of these women, these leftist women on MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, when they were talking about immigration,
Yes.
every we're all a border state now, but they don't realize that.
And if you look at some of these exit polls, I mean, I live in Virginia. Immigration was the number one issue. I mean, again, these could change in Virginia.
Well, Virginia does have a border with West Virginia. Very, very contested area.
Build a wall. Like, what?
Oh, that's a political ad.
Pardon?
I would make that a political ad.
Oh, so would I. That's a great idea. This after a 14-year-old was raped. I mean, I can go on and on about the cheerleader in Texas who was in her bathtub and this illegal sneaks into her house and rapes her and kills her.
What?
Yeah. That was in Texas. That happened. She was a cheerleader, well known.
Oh, yeah.
And then the trooper in Washington State,
Yes.
who is 27 years old, gets hit by a drunk driver, illegal, plowed right into his trooper car.
Yeah. But everything's better under Biden's America. In Biden's America, I should say.
He gave me no hope yesterday. Let's go to Bob in Oswego. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hi, Bob.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey, I have speaking of political ads, I don't know why Trump and the Republicans, the RNC, didn't have ads ready after the dimwit in diapers did his thing. Anyhow, last week, Amy, I think you guys had a I think it was MSNBC, and they had someone from Biden's team talking about the 90 executive orders that he passed right away that got rid of all of Trump's good things that he had going on, and somebody should have picked that up and played it all back, and have Trump saying that I agree with this ad.
Yep, that's true. Yep, that would be good. And you know what? One thing, now that Trump is the nominee, whether you like it or not, because I was at the beginning a few years ago, I was Nikki Haley.
Oh, I remember.
Then I was Ron DeSantis. I thought, no, we can't go through this again. But the more and more he was indicted, the more and more I thought, And did you see Letitia James?
She was booed.
The big boo bear. Well, she was at a ceremony yesterday in New York honoring firefighters. And she got heckled, and people started cheering Trump. And she simmer down.
Come on now, we're in the house of God.
Yeah, in the house, please. The devil's in the house of God. That's for sure.
Burn down.
I mean, just craziness. So, the big question too now: will there be a debate? I mean, is it possible that there will be no Biden-Trump debate? And there has to be. Is there ever not been one in our time? Only 26% think Biden has the mental capacity to serve another term.
Yeah.
And that's Republicans and Democrats polled.
Wow, that's low.
So feeding into that, that's, the American people should demand an debate because it's the only way to show that he has the mental competence to do it. Because that would be, I thought yesterday he was going to stumble more.
Yeah.
But a debate with Trump, oh my God, don't you think he will eat him alive?
Did you notice when he stumbled? When, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I mean, it throws him off.
Right.
And you don't think Trump is going to go after him at a debate?
Oh, he will.
That's what Trump's going to do to him. He's going to
discombobulate. The field is down to two. Is President Biden going to commit to a debate with Donald Trump?
That's something for the campaign to speak to.
Right. Well, we know when the debates are going to be. We know where they're going to be. Is he going to go?
You should speak to the campaign.
In 2020, once it got down to one-on-one, Joe Biden said, I can hardly wait to debate him. How about now?
I'm going to sound like a broken record. You should reach out to the campaign.
Why is this a campaign thing?
Because it's an election. It's a debate for the 2024 presidential election.
I'm not asking what argument he is going to make at a debate. I'm just at.
It's not an argument. We're not talking about arguments. You're talking about his attendance. You need to talk to the campaign.
Here about these polls concerning the president's age and his acuity. Do you think that it is going to quiet concerns about the president's age and acuity if he decides not to debate?
What I can say about that is not talking about the debate. That's something for the campaign to speak to. I'm not going to speak about that. To your question about age, I think I sort of answered that. I mean, you're going to see the State of the Union tomorrow. You're going to hear the president lay out his plans.
Basically, I don't think there's going to be a debate. Yeah. But he's going to hide in his basement. I mean, I just thought the Democratic strategy was, we'll get him with 91 different felony counts. and see what sticks, and that's how we're going to campaign.
Teflon Don is who he is.
Oh my
But
God.
she's right. I mean, that is a question for the campaign.
That's yeah.
It really is a question for the campaign.
Okay, and I'm sure they've asked, but what's the answer?
They're not going to answer
I think
that
there's
question.
3 or 4 on the schedule.
Yeah.
Is he going to show up? In the meantime, the mouthpiece for the D.C. press corps, the mouthpiece for President Biden, was all over trying to sell the American people that he is doing great.
F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second, and I've known him for years.
You know, Biden trips, he stutters, but he gets things done, and he's rational, even if he makes a mistake.
All right, Robert in Bloomingdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Hey.
Good. You know, we watched the State of the Illusion address yesterday. I got up and walked out as soon as he came on the stage. My wife watched part of it, and she turned it off. And no, there's not going to be a debate of any type because this guy would be destroyed by President Trump in a debate. Trump would go for the throat, and he should. And Biden, I think, was juiced up yesterday on something, maybe some alcohol or something, because
he
this
doesn't
guy's
drink.
totally delusional.
Yeah, no, Trump and Biden, they do not drink.
No.
But I do think that maybe he was late about 12 or 15 minutes because I think he was getting some B12 shots.
Yeah.
Or something to keep him. I mean, and he looked awful. He looked so old. Because if you watched a year ago, the State of the Union, that year compared to this year, there is a
the first year.
major shift in his appearance, in his cadence, in his ability to complete a sentence.
And he almost walked. He's so much more robotic now.
Right.
You know, he goes and he's like.
Right. Well, and even yesterday, his handler he goes, where he said hi to Justice Roberts.
Yeah.
And then he goes, where do I go now?
I saw Nancy Pelosi kind of pushed him up.
Yeah. Well, people are telling him where to go.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. And I'm sure there's something in he's got an earpiece on it.
Of course. I believe that during the debates he had an earpiece.
Something's going on. Pete in Shanahan.
Oh, Shanahan.
Shanahan. Hi, Pete. How are you?
Hey, good morning, John and Amy. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Hey, I was just wondering if we could find out which funeral home actually did Joe Biden's makeup.
Oh. I played into it. I mean, he looks...
He did?
He's 81. But I know some 81-year-olds who are very spry. And like my dad's 83, and I would trust him 1,000 times more than I would trust Biden. Because he's with it. He's not losing his mind like Biden is. All right, thanks, Pete. Thanks for
it was not good. Yep.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
It was the one thing that I was missing in my diet. And since me being a very active person, I do mountain biking, I do triathlons, I run, bike, so I'm always active, I couldn't say anything negative about this product. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's been 100% natural and I tell you, I feel amazing.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Chief among Americans' complaints against President Biden's Justice Department has been selective prosecution. It seems those on the right are prosecuted for conduct the left engages in with impunity. One federal judge in California agreed. He's thrown out charges against right-wing rioters on the grounds of selective prosecution. The rioters attended a pro-Trump free speech rally in 2017. Leftist rioters, who attend such events to fight the right-wing groups, came primed for violence and attacked Trump supporters and police. The Biden Justice Department charged them under the Anti-Riot Act. Subsequently, the district court judge dismissed charges based on selective prosecution. He noted that the leftist groups instigated much of the violence and by many accounts behaved worse than the right-wing groups. But the Biden Justice Department has appealed. It seems their old habits die hard. One thing is clear. It's time for equal justice in America again.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, he wants you to pull a Democratic primary ballot. Who is the mystery guest? You'll find out at 6:36. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
President Biden calling on Congress to pass a bipartisan border deal negotiated by a group of senators.
This bill would save lives and bring order to the border. It will also give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming.
During his State of the Union address last night, Biden called it the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen, prompting boos from many lawmakers. President Biden catching heat from one of his big critics. During the State of the Union address, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene dared Biden to say the name of Laken Riley, the Georgia nursing student killed on the campus of the University of Georgia by an illegal alien.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals?
As you heard, Biden was ready with a response but mispronounced the young woman's first name, calling her Lincoln. Sweden is now an official NATO member country this morning. Country's prime minister visited Washington, D.C. yesterday, presenting formal documentation for its admission. Sweden and Finland joining NATO is the biggest expansion of the alliance in decades. A private investigator hired by the city of Uvalde, Texas, to do a deep dive on the Robb Elementary School shooting says there were many failures by police officers the day that 19 students and 2 teachers were murdered. But Jesse Prado says no police officers for now will be fired because the biggest problem was communication.
Chief of Police Arredondo was on one side of the building, and many other officers were on the north side of the hallway, but there was no communication as to a game plan.
Prado did not identify any officers who violated policy and recommended complete exoneration for the chief of police. Parents of victims stormed out of that meeting. Rape survivor and domestic violence victim advocate Brenda Tracy is suing Michigan State University and football coach Mel Tucker for $75 million, $50 million for herself, $25 million for a sexual harassment nonprofit. 60s crooner Steve Lawrence is dead at the age of 88. You remember this.
There could never be.
AM 560 played the heck out of this. Back in the 1960s, Lawrence, one half of the popular duo Steve and Edie, the Brooklyn native, died at his home in L.A. from complications from Alzheimer's disease. Lawrence leaves behind his son David, who you may know composed the score for the High School Musical movies. Village of Flossmoor's mayor shared a letter Thursday evening that looks to fire the village's police chief. Village Representative Kevin Dorsey said the letter is how Chief got word of his supposed termination.
Quite frankly, he's disappointed. I think he really came here with the desire to have a long relationship as chief of police with the community.
The village of 10,000 hired Jones from Macomb only last year. Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago will lay off 300 employees as it cuts dozens of government contracts in response to an uncertain government funding environment. A bill that gives the city of Chicago a hybrid school board and control by the mayor is on the desk of Governor Pritzker. Pritzker has been vocally supportive of the initiative to split that board between half being voted on by the city and half being appointed. Vocal critics say it is a gift to the Chicago Teachers Union. And you think the cicadas emerging from their underground homes this late April and May will be bad? Prepare for the return of red-winged blackbirds this spring. The blackbird is an aggressive bird species. It's been known to dive bomb anyone who comes near its nest. Female red-winged blackbirds are making their return trip to the Chicago suburbs in bigger numbers than ever before. And they'll be here in a few days to rejoin their male redwings who spent the winter here. Bulls beat the Warriors 125-122 last night. They visit the Clippers tomorrow. Spring baseball, Cubs tied Cincinnati, and the Southsiders lost to the Brew Crew 8-2. 6:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is keeping it optimistic.
Heaven forbid I get to say out loud what I can see and hear. Joe Biden is not up to the task, but I'm hoping they dig in. I hope he digs in. It's our best shot to victory. Our best path to getting Trump back into the Oval Office is for Joe Biden to run again.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
AMAC is the Association of Mature American Citizens, an organization who's not only dedicated to America's seniors, but is vital for conservatives of all ages. AMAC stands out by not only advocating for senior issues, but also by pushing for conservative values that affect us all. By joining, you're not just supporting our senior citizens, you're part of a movement defending our freedoms and securing our nation's future. Plus, membership brings you exclusive benefits like discounts on travel, dining, entertainment, and special insurance rates. Regardless of your age, if you're driven to preserve freedom, AMAC welcomes you. This is about uniting youthful vigor with wisdom of experience in our quest for conservative principles. Sign up now at amac.us/fight. And for a limited time, get a free gift membership for someone who shares your love for our great nation. Don't miss out on this chance to make a difference with AMAC. Join today at amac.us/fight and extend the invitation to a friend or family member for free.
Hi, this is Randy Donnelly from Donnelly Auctions in Union, Illinois, with my current want list for upcoming auctions. Guns and military items are always at the top of my list, but I have buyers for vintage automobiles and motorcycles, old gas pumps and automotive signs. Do you have pinball machines and coin-operated games like slot machines, jukeboxes? How about Coke machines and soda machines? Also, neon signs, antique phonographs and music boxes, old toys, especially science fiction and Star Wars, cowboy and Native American collections like barbershop, ice cream parlor, and saloon items. We'll take one item or an entire collection. We sell it all. Call me before you sell your items outright because you could be leaving a fortune on the table. And you won't know until you call me at 815-923-7000 or send me an email at DonnellyAuctions.com. My job is to get you top dollar for your collections, so call me at 815-923-7000. I'm Randy Donnelly, and I'll see you at the auction.
Business owners, own a custom-designed building from General Steel. Call 866-95-STEEL. That's 866-957-8335.
6:38, let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And this update is a service of Indeed.com. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit. I-80 accident on the exit ramp this morning. It's on the off-ramp to I-57. That car has run off into the ditch this morning, but there is a large response from emergency crews. Accident on the exit ramp on 8094. It's a different accident. 8094 westbound, the on-ramp from Ripley. That car is also spun into the ditch. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Rainy and gloomy, high 47. Rain and drizzle overnight, low 36. Considerable cloudiness tomorrow with light rain showers. And we may hit a high of 44, but it will feel much colder than that with the wind. And remember, Saturday night into Sunday morning to spring that clock 1 hour forward. 45 at O'Hare, 46 at Midway, 42 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
This sounds like the best event ever. If you want to see the Chicago River dyed green while celebrating St. Patrick's Day, Trump Hotel in Chicago is hosting a morning with an open bar, Irish-inspired brunch, Irish dance performers, and a DJ while the river is being dyed green for your chance to win a ticket. Visit 560theanswer.com and use the keyword Trump.
Let's go, Amy.
Well, I want to win
Let's
this
go.
ticket.
I do too. Let's go.
So this free, just you can't sign up to win. You just have to sign up to win a ticket to go to the event. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is going to be Saturday, March 16th. They normally dye the river between 8 and 10 a.m. So, have you ever seen that, Johnny?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I've been down there.
Isn't it fun?
It's been many years since I've been.
Oh, we used to go to Harry Carey back when we were in our 20s. We used
Uh-oh.
to tear it up.
Amy Terry.
Me and the Rat Pack, John Garcia, Kyung Lao. I mean, it's just all of
I actually
us.
like him, John Garcia.
Well, you can like him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I actually do.
I know. I love him.
He's done a lot of reporting down in the Joliet Channel.
Yeah. Well, he's been there at Channel 7 for a long time. But my God, it's Chris Myers, Matt Piasante, Mike McGovern, stuff like that whole zoo crew. We used to own this town, man. Natalie Martinez, Anna Devlantes, Rob Algus, all of us.
Anna
would just
was
go.
a party?
Oh, yeah, Robin Meade too. Robin Meade and I won a karaoke contest one year on the South Side. Thank you. Bing. Okay, and enough about that. Reliving the glory days when you're young and dumb. And Democrats, that's what I was, but I'm a recovering Democrat now. But there is a Democrat that we know and love who wants you or thinks that you maybe want to pull a Democratic primary ballot because his name is Alderman Ray Lopez, and he's also running against Chuy Garcia in the 4th District. Good morning, Mr. Lopez. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, John.
Hey,
and I will gladly challenge him to a karaoke contest too if I need to.
What's
to
your
wrap
go?
this up.
What's your go-to song in karaoke?
You know, you could give me some Johnny Cash, and we could start belting out "Ring of Fire" right now if you want. You know, we could go the whole route.
Yeah, that's a solid choice. What about you, Johnny? What's your go-to?
Chris Stapleton.
Pardon?
Chris Stapleton.
Oh, which song?
What's the?
Or do you really not sing karaoke?
No, I do.
Is this just a radio bit, John?
Chris Stapleton. Tennessee Whiskey.
Oh, Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah.
How does that song go? Oh, see, I'm putting you on
Really?
the
No,
spot.
I'm not singing. You keep trying to get me to sing, but I'm not singing, Amy. No.
Yeah, I know John was doing a Biden impersonation for a moment.
I was.
All right, so did you watch the State of the Union?
I did.
For how long did you last, Alderman?
You know what? I have been a glutton for punishment ever since I announced my run for Congress, and I watched the whole thing from start to finish, and it was rough. Let me just say it was rough. But I love that we're trying to bring back the chicken in every pot motif from Herbert Hoover, and it's, you know, more Doritos in the bag for every American, I guess now is the mantra for American success. So I just think there were a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of diversions from reality, especially saying the border secure and the country's the safest it's ever been. I don't agree with the president on either of those two.
So the person you were running against, Chuy Garcia, voted no yesterday against the Laken-Riley Act. If you were in his shoes, how would you have voted on that?
Well, my track record on that is very clear. I would have voted yes for it because I think that while we can accommodate those that want to be here and want to be a positive impact to the American experience, those that come here and choose to engage in horrendous crimes, drug activity, pedophilia, sex trafficking, things of that nature, they should not be here. They should be deported immediately. And that's even the rules for DACA kids. If you engage in criminal activity, you will get deported. But yet, for some reason, the members of Congress who voted against that act don't see the value in only allowing the best of the best to stay here.
Well, we have our
It's just moral character.
okay. We have our lockdown correspondent, Justin Kosick, also our technical producer, because he's everything COVID. And what's going on? They're locking down a shelter in Chicago.
Yes. So what I read is that a new arrival shelter in Pilsen was put on lockdown because there was a case of measles found, and they are now saying that anybody who's not vaccinated cannot leave the shelter, and those who are vaccinated can leave. And anybody unvaccinated will be screened and offered the measles vaccine. And they're working to identify anybody else who may have been exposed. So,
is this 2 weeks? Just 2 weeks? Do we know how long the lockdown's going to last? No, I know I'm being facetious. But Alderman, what do you know about this shelter that's being locked down? Were you informed of this?
What I know, I wasn't informed of this. I saw it yesterday on the news. But what I will say is, when the young 5-year-old died, that's the shelter he lived in.
Oh.
This is the shelter where we couldn't identify sepsis, where they don't have enough clean food, clean space to occupy. And it's no coincidence that this is the same shelter that's now on lockdown. And when I went on media and joined shows like this one, talking about, the unhealthiness and the lack of planning going on in these shelters that the mayor and his socialist allies are putting people in, people said I was gaslighting, I was racist, I was this, I was that. And here it is now, 4 months later. Apparently I was very truthful. And we're seeing the negative impacts because not only on the migrant asylum seekers, but there are children in that location that attend Chicago public schools. And they go to schools without any kind of vaccination, without any kind of requirements for them as any other student would need. And they've been intermixing with our homegrown Chicago students for months now. And I think it's going to get worse from here because the protocols aren't in place. The mayor doesn't know what he's doing, and his team isn't coming up with any ideas to contain this. And we know that measles will spread like wildfire if it's not properly dealt with. And we haven't had a measles case in over 5 years in this city.
Wow.
And here we find ourselves today.
So were you satisfied at all? I mean, President Biden keeps blaming Republicans for not signing this bill. When it has nothing to, even if they signed it, it doesn't matter. He needs to reverse those 96 executive orders that would secure our border. So do you think at any point in time, Governor Pritzker might wake up to this? Mayor Johnson might wake up to this?
No, I think they're all using for the talking points that they need. It's all about politics and money, to be perfectly honest with you, Amy. And the president is playing politics because he needs an enemy during a campaign, so he needs to blame the Republicans, which I get. He's not going to take personal accountability for the executive orders he repealed that opened the floodgates and let 8 million people come into this country. And he's not going to say anything about his Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, who allowed for these asylum claims to be taken, even knowing that there is no basis for asylum just simply because you need a job. I don't think the mayor or the governor are going to say anything because what they want to see is more migrants coming into our state so that they could have more federal dollars coming, just as they had under COVID. The migrant situation is the next cash cow if it is allowed to continue, because they're going to use that to get their multi-billion-dollar bailouts once again to help their governments function.
Wow. Uh-oh. It's audio. You know, this is just an observation. One of the things I really like about you, Alderman, is you know who you're running against. You could easily go out and play the same role that he's playing, or go left of the current congressman. But I just want to applaud you to say thank you for, taking a stand, because it's not easy to take a stand in a city like Chicago. So I appreciate that about you.
Well, thank you, John. And I will tell you that my voters appreciate the fact that, if there's one thing you can count on from me, is that you're always going to get the honest truth.
Yeah.
Whether it helps me or hurts me, you're going to know the truth. And that's missing in politics. That's missing in government nowadays, because everyone's too busy spinning the narrative as opposed to just telling their constituents, whether it's locally or nationally, what the bad news is and how do we move forward.
Yeah, I got a question about ICE. When the former mayor severed the relationship with ICE, was that done through policy, through the aldermanic? Was that a vote put on that, or did she just unilaterally do that? And has Brandon or has the new superintendent requested a reconnection with ICE?
No, that was done by an ordinance, and I believe it was in 2021.
Yeah.
When then Mayor Lori Lightfoot, the biggest D in town, introduced the ordinance that took away all the last of the carve-outs in the Welcoming City ordinance. Those few categories upon which we could, in fact, work with Homeland Security and the federal government to remove people who were undocumented that qualified for sanctuary if they committed any certain acts. I've tried to reintroduce that under this mayor, and he and his socialist colleagues have sent it to rules in the hopes that it never sees the light of day again. But we have seen since then, obviously with this surge in asylum seeker behavior, criminal behavior, is that many people want to know why we aren't doing more to push the federal government to hold these individuals to a standard. Why the city of Chicago isn't holding people to a standard. In my own Gage Park, where I have a shelter, I was on a meeting yesterday, and everyone wants to talk about work groups and collaboration to discuss how you deal with their illegal behavior. But the one thing that nobody wanted to hear is how do we arrest them? How do you get them fast-tracked and removed from the city of Chicago if they're engaging in prostitution, drugs, gang life, things of that nature, things that we don't need help with in the city of Chicago. We have enough of those problems already with our own homegrown residents.
So is that still going on at all the shelters, the prostitution, the drug dealing?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Are they getting arrested? Because I did go by the end of Chicago, and I was like, what are they exchanging hand to hand? Well, it looks like drug deals.
Oh.
Are they getting arrested?
Yeah. No, they're not getting arrested because we don't arrest people in the city anymore. And it's such a low-level crime, and nothing's going to happen to them other than getting a slap on the wrist and being sent back to the shelter, which is basically starting to show the weakness in the mayor's policy, especially with his eviction order, because he has stated that he's going to start giving people eviction notices to get out of the shelters. But really what that's going to do is just cause these asylum seekers to migrate, no pun intended, to other shelters.
Right. Or just take to the tents again, don't you think, wherever they want? Because it's a free-for-all. If you want to live by Lakeshore Drive, by Lake Michigan, just set up a tent. No one's going to take it away from you. No one's going to take it down until the DNC comes here.
Yeah.
In 5 months, I think they're going to take all those homeless encampments, all those eyesores, and just, I don't know what they're going to tell them. Maybe like, give us a week and then we'll get your space back. But there's one guy at Lakeshore Drive and Irving Park Road. He will not budge. He will not. And then you know what they did? They got him a recycle bin, Alderman Lopez, and a garbage can so that he doesn't throw his stuff on the floor now, that he can put it in a garbage can. Isn't that nice?
You know, it's very thoughtful, and it's pretty much all we have available at our disposal right now in dealing with homelessness ever since the appellate court ruled that a person who is homeless can use any public space as a residential area.
Oh, when was that ruling handed down?
Roughly 3 years ago.
Oh, that's why.
Because before we could come in, give services, help remove and clean up the area. Now we actually physically have to ask for an eviction from someone who is residing on public property in order to move them.
Wow. Alderman, is Chicago ready for the DNC convention? I mean, what are the plans that they're preparing? Because I see this as something that, I mean, we're already letting military-aged men in. Is Chicago ready to do the DNC convention at this point?
Well, I think, excuse me, notwithstanding the individuals who we let in, the fact of the matter that we have so emasculated TPD.
Yes.
And when the purple-haired brigade shows up to protest, and when everyone else, Antifa shows up to protest, and all the paid organizers show up to protest, they know what the general orders for police are in terms of rules of engagement, and they're going to push them to the max in the hopes that someone's going to get fed up and push back eventually after being screamed at for 4 or 5 days, 10 hours a day. And then all hell's really going to break loose. And I think that's what they want. They want to destabilize our city, our region, on a national level for the cameras.
Right.
Because that is what emboldens young people and misguided people to join the ranks of these paid organizers, to volunteer their time and effort so that they can feel as though they are part of some sort of social movement when all they've been is all that's going on is they're being manipulated by groups who are just committed to the chaos and not trying to actually do anything productive for society.
We got somebody that texted in that
victims will be our police.
Okay.
We're going to
Sorry.
be caught in the crossfires.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, but we're up against the clock. But I was just letting you know, somebody texted in and said that they are going to pull a Democratic ballot for you instead of a Republican one so that they could vote for you in the 4th district. So anything else you want to say to people that are on the fence?
I will say this. My goal is to get rid of the epicenter of democratic socialism in Chicago and Cook County. That's Chuy Garcia. There's no Republican opponent in November, so if we can beat him in 10 days, it's a one-and-done deal, and I think we have a chance to bring some sanity, not just to the region, but to Congress, too.
All right. Where can people get more information about your campaign?
They can go to RaymondForCongress.com, and I will also be in Brookfield for a fish fry tonight at the Irish Times bar. So anyone wants to come visit me, 6
Irish
to 8.
have bars?
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
That used to be my
They
old
drink?
watering hole.
Oh, my God.
I used to go there a lot.
You used to go there?
Uh-huh.
What's the name of the bar?
Irish Times.
Irish
Irish Times in Brookfield.
All right. Irish Times in Brookfield tonight from
Fish fry. I'll be there from 6 to 8.
6 to 8 p.m. Alderman Lopez, also candidate for the 4th Congressional District. Always a pleasure. God bless, and good luck with your campaign.
Take care, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
We're pulling for you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Join Gat Guns for their 35th factory sale and shoot on Saturday, March 9th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, March 10th from 9 to 3. Meet the Smith & Wesson factory rep and see the new 1854 rifle as well as their full firearm lineup. Enjoy special pricing on certain Smith & Wesson guns. That's March 9th and 10th at Gat Guns. For more information, visit gatguns.com.
While supplies last, prices subject to change. Must be Illinois resident, 21 years old with valid void to shoot the factory guns.
Join Gat Guns for their 35th factory sale and shoot on Saturday, March 9th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, March 10th from 9 to 3. Meet the Springfield factory rep and see their full array of Springfield guns to shoot. Enjoy special pricing on many Springfield products. That's March 9th and 10th at Gat Guns. For more information, visit gatguns.com.
While supplies last, prices subject to change. Must be Illinois resident, 21 years old with valid void to shoot the factory guns.
The signs of spring are upon us. Birds are singing, crocuses are popping up, and your concrete is sinking. Well, Permaseal can help with that. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer. As you explore your yard this spring, you'll likely see some cracked or sunken concrete, a sidewalk, stoop, driveway, or patio. Permaseal has the answer for you. Our polylevel solution can raise and level sunken concrete quickly and effectively, putting an end to eyesores and dangerous trip hazards. Call today for a free estimate, 800-421-SEAL. Polylevel is the quickest, least expensive, and most durable system to repair your sunken concrete problems. Don't live with a problem that will only get worse.
During the month of March, we're giving you 15% off your concrete repair solution. Be sure to call today, 800-421-7325. Permaseal has been making Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana homes healthier and more valuable for over 45 years and has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't replace it, raise it. 800-421-7325 or permaseal.net.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
It was the one thing that I was missing in my diet. And since me being a very active person, I do mountain biking, I do triathlons, I run, bike, so I'm always active, I couldn't say anything negative about this product. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's been 100% natural and I tell you, I feel amazing.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
I don't know if you also saw, for security reasons, they put a 12-foot fence up in Washington, D.C. in a number of places because there were a number of protests. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, was he effective in getting his message across? We'll start there with Scott McKay, publisher of The Hayride and contributing editor to the American Spectator. And also, did you hear President Biden is urging Nikki Haley supporters to back him? Oh, that's fun. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Measles diagnosed for the first time since 2019 in Chicago. Catholic Charities to slash 300 jobs in a shift from government contracts. Rivian unveils new vehicles, one to be built in the state of Illinois. Bulls take down the Warriors. The Bears signed Jalen Johnson to a long-term deal. WIND Chicago News Time, 7.
He made the case for 4 more years. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden says the State of the Union is strong, but
my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment.
Saying freedom and democracy are under assault, taking numerous swipes at his likely rematch rival, though never mentioning former President Trump by name.
Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
The president also vowed to restore women's abortion rights, and he got a lot of support from fellow Democrats on this.
Folks at home, does anybody really think the tax code is fair? No! Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? No! I sure don't.
In a State of the Union Republican response, Senator Katie Britt said,
our commander-in-chief is not in command. The free world deserves better than a dithering and diminished leader.
And at times, Republicans interrupted the president.
Really?
Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene shouted Laken Riley, a nursing student killed in Georgia last month. He acknowledged her.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal.
And then President Biden went on to tell Riley's parents, as someone who's lost children, he understands what they're going through. The president was also heckled by the father of a Marine killed in the suicide bombing during the chaotic 2021 U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan. Stephen Nakui was removed by Capitol Police and arrested. President Biden also urged Congress to approve stalled military aid for Ukraine in the fight against Russia. And he also said, as he keeps pushing for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas,
I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelter.
America's listening to Fox News.
44 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. And good morning. I'm Mike Scott. In a presidential election year, it's no surprise that members of Joe Biden's Democrat Party here in Illinois liked what they heard during last night's State of the Union address. Republicans ready to nominate Donald Trump for a third time had very few positive things to say. Illinois' 16th District Republican Darren LaHood says Joe Biden has wrecked the border policies of Donald Trump.
On day one, Joe Biden ripped it up. 3.5 years later, we've had 8.7 million people come across the border illegally.
He also pointed out that every family in Illinois is bearing the brunt of the Biden economy.
Whether that's going out to dinner with your family, whether it's, again, filling up your minivan or your truck, everything has gone up in this country.
In other news we're following this morning, Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago will lay off 300 employees as it cuts dozens of government contracts by July 1st. The contracts, which fund 12% of the charity's budget, cover services like childcare and call centers. A staff of nearly 1,000 will remain. A man and elderly woman were found dead Thursday at a home in the near west suburbs. Police could be seen going in and out of a home in the 1900 block of East Avenue in Berwyn, where the medical examiner says two were identified as 90-year-old Nina Reyes and 49-year-old Peter Reyes. Cause of death is not known. A positive case of the measles has been reported in Chicago, the first since 2019. The individual's infectious period ended Wednesday. The person with the infection is recovering at home. Bulls beat Golden State last night, 125-122. Bulls on a 3-game win streak, and they visit the Clippers tomorrow. Spring baseball, Cubs and Cincinnati tied at 2, while the White Sox lost to the Brew Crew 8-2. The Bears locked down one of their premier defensive playmakers. Quarterback Jalen Johnson's Franchise tag is ripped off and replaced with a 4-year, $76 million contract. The news, a service of Ingrace with Jim Scudder Jr., now heard on Sunday morning at 6:30, right here on AM 560, The Answer. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Women's sports are under attack in America by those with a radical agenda that seeks to erase the differences between men and women in classrooms, on playing fields, and in locker rooms. No one knows this better than All-American swimmer Riley Gaines. See Riley Gaines live in Chicagoland on Friday, March 22nd, presented by Breakthrough Ideas and the Parents Matter Coalition. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/tickets. That's 560theanswer.com/tickets. Sponsored by Blue Star Security.
There is a place in northern Illinois where people have received large sums of money for a handful of old change.
That's right. Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Naperville pays big cash for old coins. Many places buy gold and silver. Fox Valley Coins does that too, but they pay more for the rare ones. A true story. Recently, a lady came in with a pouch full of old silver dollars. A few better ones, but most were run-of-the-mill, and they added up to a few $1,000s. But for one silver dollar, Fox Valley Coins offered $4,300. She had no idea and was shocked.
An honest coin dealer. He actually pointed out the rare ones. Fox Valley Coins buys and sells with free verbal appraisals just north of I-88 on Route 59 in Naperville. FoxValleyCoins.com. Over 40 years of family-owned integrity.
Hey, a lot of you know that I learned how to use a firearm when I was 11 years old. I've been practicing my entire life, and people ask me all the time, Hannity, what kind of gun should I get? Well, now I'm telling them, go to Henry Repeating Arms. And I always tell them to start just by going to their website, henryusa.com. You're going to get a free catalog. Now, Henry has over 200 models of rifles and shotguns to choose from. They're made with the finest craftsmanship I've ever seen, and you don't beat their performance. Every one I have was accurate right out of the box and reliable ever since. Their company motto is made in America or not made at all. They have a lifetime warranty, family-owned business, and these folks are true patriots who give back to our military, our vets, our first responders, sick kids, you name it. They support gun safety, and they support our Second Amendment. So if you're in the market for a high-quality, American-made firearm, just go to henryusa.com. You get their free catalog, list of dealers, and free decals, henryusa.com. You'll love this company.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
It was the one thing that I was missing in my diet. And since me being a very active person, I do mountain biking, I do triathlons, I run, bike, so I'm always active, I couldn't say anything negative about this product. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's been 100% natural, and I tell you, I feel amazing.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Chicago.
In Chicago, 7:08. Let's get an update on the roads. We do that in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center. And this update is a service of Second City Prime Meats and Seafood. Now you can enjoy world-class meats and seafood that you just won't find at the butcher. Japanese Wagyu, Iberico, Spanish pork, South African cold water lobster tails, and Colorado domestic lamb. Discover more at secondcityprime.com. The Ike on the inbound side, stop and go between East Avenue and Des Plaines Avenue on the outbound side this morning. Inbound Stevenson, 40 minutes from 355 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Bishop Ford, an accident now on both shoulders. It's on the inbound side of the Bishop Ford between Cottage Grove and the Dan Ryan. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Rose Tamburino.
Rain today. We could get some ponding on the streets and highways. The high today 47. Occasional rain and drizzle still tonight, the low 36. Cloudy tomorrow, the high 44. And then sunny skies Sunday, the high 48. I'm Rose Tamburino on AM 560. The Answer.
44 at O'Hare, 45 at Midway with light rain in Aurora, 44. Heavy rain in Joliet, and 46. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Friday morning. Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft today. Thanks for coming in, partner.
Thanks for having me.
And you had a busy night last night.
Yeah, I went to attend the Mike Lindell event in Barrington.
Yes.
But I was voluntold to MC it.
You were what?
Voluntold to MC it.
Oh, so somebody came up to you at the event and was like,
Yeah.
hey, John, we need you to MC this
Brett
event.
Corrigan, he's big in Trump world now.
Mhm.
He's like 18, 19 years old. We're in the restroom, and he goes, hey, you're MCing this event. I'm like, what? Wait, what? And so, you don't
Were you
turn down.
dressed properly?
Well, I had a hoodie.
Oh, there.
Wait, hold on. I brought a suit
You
jacket.
had me at hoodie.
I had a suit jacket, but I'm like, I got my brand on, and this is Mike Lindell. Why not keep my brand that I have on Black
All right,
and Right
what do you
Radio?
wear? Oh, you have it on right
Yeah.
now?
No, this is not the one I had on. It's okay to be black and right.
Oh, it's okay to be
It's
black
okay
and
to
right.
be
Where
black
can we
and right.
find this merchandise?
Blackandrightradio.com.
Blackandrightradio.com. You're also on the air on Saturdays from 4 to
Tomorrow.
7.
Yeah, from 4 to
tomorrow.
7.
What are you going to have on your show?
A lot of
Or
candidates. Mark Rice for Congress. I got a couple of county board members and a couple of other candidates. I'm just going to do candidates this week and then the following week as well.
Yeah, because early voting has
Yeah.
begun because, since COVID now, it's voting season.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I call it.
It
voting
started
season.
in February. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
How that one little pandemic just
Yeah.
changed every aspect of our lives
Yeah.
and made our elections less secure, made our borders less secure, because all these people that are flying or illegally coming,
Mhm.
and some are being flown 325,000 to 43 different airports in the middle of the night, because they didn't want anybody to know.
Oh, you sound like Joe Biden. Why you whispering?
Even though they can't register to vote yet, but they need them in these states because for the congressional districts. They can, even if you're illegal, the census counts you.
Mhm.
That's a warm body.
Yes.
That have babies.
That's
There's
right.
another warm body.
Yes.
So that we don't lose any more congressional seats here in Illinois, which
Correct.
we did lose one.
Yes.
And
Well,
same
we've
with New
lost.
York, and same with California. All these blue states and cities that are flooding.
At one point, didn't we have
Flooding people
23,
leaving.
25 congressional seats here in Illinois? At some point, many years ago.
That's
So
a question
think
for
about
Dan
it.
Proft,
I have
but
to look
yes.
it up.
But I don't know if you know or got the memo, but Mayorkas,
Oh.
don't you dare call them illegals.
First of all, let me say that we don't use the term illegal immigrants. I actually issued a policy in the Department of Homeland Security. We use the term non-citizen to respect the dignity of every individual as a preliminary matter.
Got that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because, they're into changing our rhetoric. They're into changing history, taking statues down, and now he just wants you to know.
Yeah.
All right. With more on what's happened last night and didn't happen, let's welcome back to the program Scott McKay, publisher of The Hayride, contributing editor at The American Spectator, and author of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin. Good morning, Mr. McKay. How are you?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Good. So what was the highlight or low light for you during last night's State of the Union address?
Is the State of the Union address?
Yeah.
I thought there was an old man barking like a dog at me while I had my TV on. I didn't realize that was a State of the Union address.
Yes, and one thing that everybody's talking about this morning is it's Laken Riley, not Lincoln Riley.
When he viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner, not really.
Oh, boy.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals?
Well, then don't let them in.
To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself.
Now, do you think he really meant that apology that he said to Laken Riley's parents?
Can I say hell no? Because I think hell no is probably the right answer.
Yeah, I mean...
You know, by the way, Lincoln Riley is the football coach at USC. I don't think Joe Biden actually knows that. But, you know, then again, what I guess I should say is Joe Biden has zero command of facts at all that aren't on his teleprompter. So naturally, he would have screwed that up. But you know what's disgusting about this is there's like 5 or 6 things that Joe Biden is capable of, and one of them is that you know, if there's any criticism of Joe Biden, he defaults to Bo Biden, right?
Yep.
So in other words, he lets criminal illegals into the country, doesn't deport them when they do criminal things, and Laken Riley is killed by one of these, and his response is, "Oh, I lost a son too."
Right. But
you know, and it's like, well,
but
okay,
they lost their daughter because of
doesn't
his
get you off the
policies
hook
that he
that
put
you
in
lost
place.
a son.
Right. Yeah. And it's so infuriating. And it was all lies about the economy and about inflation and wages are up, inflation's down, lie. I mean, did you get sick of counting the number of lies he spewed out of his mouth last night?
Well, you know, and they have decided that inflation being down is something they're going to run on. The problem is this. Prices are not down. Okay, they may be increasing at a slower pace than they were before, but credit card debt in this country is higher than it's ever been because people are using credit cards to try to get through the month. Okay, so until prices come down, to say inflation is going down is not going to win you any votes. In fact, it's going to make people angrier and angrier, and I think you're going to, you know, you'll see that in polls. But I mean, you're exactly right, Amy. Over and over and over again in that speech, it wasn't just that he was lying, because Joe Biden has always lied since he first got elected to the Senate. The guy's done nothing but lie. But like, these are delusional lies. These are lies that people's daily experience disproves. Yeah. And so when he runs out there and he starts talking, you know, about how wonderful everything is, and it's totally counter to folks' regular experience. I mean, you know, you just make such a break with the public that anybody who's not a hardcore Democrat voter was more than happy to vote for Donald Trump instead of you. And I don't think his people really understand that. And what makes me nervous is when that finally sets in, what their reaction to it is, because I don't think you can trust them to operate as a normal political party. They haven't shown evidence that they're willing to lose within the system. They would, in fact, this is a couple of weeks back, Rasmussen had this report about it's like white upper middle class graduates of selective universities who are you know, politically left and have you know, certain kinds of white collar jobs, and like 63% of these people said they would rather cheat than lose an election. And like, those are the people making the decision inside the Democrat Party. So what happens when, like, not only is Joe Biden a non-starter with the voting public, but there's nobody else in that party who is capable of carrying the ticket? Like, what do they do then? Right. And the fact that this guy, and of course, when I say this guy, I mean like the corporate Joe Biden, meaning his handlers much more than him. Like, you know, they sent him out there to give this shouty, hardcore, partisan, far left, combative State of the Union speech when what was absolutely called for was a conciliatory, non-threatening, centrist type of thing that, hey, guys, let's all get along type of thing. That's what needed to be put out there yesterday, and they couldn't even do it, which tells me we may be in a lot of trouble if the polls get to the point where, he's not within 6 or 8 points of Trump in any swing state. And in most of them, that's pretty much, we're about there. Yeah. And especially when you throw in the third party candidates like, Cornel West or RFK Jr., who mostly draw from Biden, that the spread, he's, 5-6 points in Pennsylvania and Michigan and 7 or 8 in Georgia and Arizona. Like, you throw the third-party candidates in there, and that margin starts getting closer to 10.
Right, but if they know that they're going to lose, if they know, will there be a surprise at the DNC in Chicago?
And this is the question. Okay, do you parachute somebody in at the convention? Yeah, maybe so. Who's that going to be? Because they did a couple of poll tests of Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom, and of course they've also poll tested Kamala Harris.
Oh boy!
And they're all worse than Biden. The public doesn't like any of those either. So, what happens when they say, "Okay, this is an election we can't win"?
What about our governor, Governor Pritzker, who I have a feeling spent some of his own billions of dollars because he's a billionaire twice over to get the DNC in Chicago. Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah,
he had to do that. But what about him? Is his name floating around up there? DC?
I've not heard his name.
Oh,
he hung up on us.
You know what happens?
Oh, that's Pritzker.
I'm telling you, they have people that listen to the show. By the way,
I'm sure.
I know that they do.
Yeah,
people. At least they did. When he was running against Darren Bailey.
Well, he's
so
spreading his money around, so
Yeah, we're trying to get back. It's Scott McKay, but in the meantime, for a little laugh.
Yeah.
Did you hear this new parody about Joe Biden?
No,
the parody song. Keep falling.
Oh. He's an old guy, has dementia, can't lead us, and the country is screwed. Tell some big lies.
Sing along.
Barely speaks English, sniffs children. And their mom's hair too goes the wrong way. When he leaves his speeches, gets lost each day. In the White House yard, all the Dems say that we should re-elect him. How can he run when walking is hard? And Joe keeps falling, yeah, he keeps falling, keep falling, yeah, he keeps falling, and Joe keeps.
Justin, why didn't Justin make this song? Come on, Justin.
It could be him.
Keeps falling.
Justin slipped.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, this would have been perfect for Justin.
We're back with Scott McKay. Good morning again. How are you?
Sorry.
What
Sorry
happened?
about that. I don't know if I upset the NSA or something, and the call got dropped
Be
off.
careful what you say about Pritzker. But Pritzker, he's not in the top 5 there to replace President Biden.
Well, the one thing about Pritzker is, Pritzker is Obama, and I've said this over and over and over again. It's one of the reasons I wrote Racism, Revenge, and Ruin is that Obama is the force behind all of this, and you can't really be the 2024 Democrat nominee unless you are some species of Obama puppet, and Pritzker would fit that bill. Now the question is, can you sell J.B. Pritzker to the rest of the country?
Yeah.
And I have my doubts about that. And the other part of it is, I don't know if the Democrats can throw Kamala Harris overboard for anybody who's not also a black woman.
Right. That's true. I wouldn't diminish Pritzker in saying that he's Obama's puppet. I think that's the reverse. I think Obama was one. I mean, they sent so much money to the Obama campaign, and
into his library.
Yeah. And remember, Pritzker wanted that Senate seat.
So. Oh yeah, we have the tapes.
Well, we don't have them all though, right?
No, but we have him talking to Blagojevich saying, what about that Senate seat, and how can I fit in and be one of the cool kids?
And I Scott, I saw that you were on Tucker. Did the numbers surpass the Putin-Trump interview?
No, it didn't. But we did get about 4 million views on that, which was pretty good.
Wow,
that was a fun experience. He could not be a nicer guy. He really couldn't. I mean, he is a guy's a prince, and for all the abuse that they give him, it's to me it's totally unjustified. It certainly did a lot for book sales, which was good. I mean, like Amazon and Barnes and Noble sold out of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin within like a couple of days after that interview going live. So
speaking of that book,
was great.
Speaking of that book, I got to buy one from you, and you got to. I want your autograph on it, if that's okay.
Yeah, Hook me. Hook up
he has
with me.
Black
We'll
and
definitely do that.
John is the host of Black and White Radio. Oh, you guys know each other?
He's probably mad at me because he's supposed to have been on my show, and I've been taking off so much that I couldn't get him on. But I'm definitely going to get him on. But you wrote an article over at spectator.org. Trump's re-election effort is becoming the hero's journey. What do you mean by that? What is this article talking about? Because I've said from day one that I think Trump's going to surpass Reagan as far as the numbers of the black and brown community who's going to vote for him.
Well, I don't remember which poll it was. I think it was the New York Times Siena poll that was over the weekend.
Yep.
And Trump's up 46-40 on Biden with Hispanics. So like that's like a big number. The hero's journey is kind of a classic literary archetype, I guess. Like the hero's journey, like the Gospels tell a hero's journey story with Jesus, but Sinbad is the hero's journey, and like Indiana Jones is the hero's journey. It's like the intrepid, plucky individual who overcomes the odds and makes the world a better place by beating the bad guys and getting the girl, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trump doesn't exactly fit that archetype, but the presence of super evil villains will contribute to the hero's journey, even when the hero is a little off center.
Right.
And at this point, the Democrats are so nasty and so corrupt, and just so outright evil. I mean, but Amy, you mentioned the 325,000 people that they've been flying into the country
in the middle of the night under the cloak, dark of secrecy.
And arresting people for protesting outside abortion clinics, and sicking the FBI on Catholics who want to go to the Latin Mass, and all this other stuff that they've done, makes them the bad guys, and Trump is against them, and so he's the hero. And the level of nastiness with this lawfare and everything else that they've done, they are setting him up as the hero. I'm not trying to say Trump is Jesus, but he might kind of be an orange Indiana Jones in this thing. And so, and this story, like if he wins the election, then it's very much sort of a classic comeback hero's journey story that would not have been set up this way if the Democrats were even remotely, just like normal and conventional in their approach to politics. But these are kind of radical revolutionaries that are in charge of the Democratic Party. They want to break this country down. That's clear. And so the question is like, okay, who can save America? And the guy that's running to do it is Trump. And he may not be the classic hero that some of these groups like suburban housewives want, but he's what you got. And at this point, it kind of looks like if Trump can just be somewhat gracious and save his invective for Joe Biden and his handlers, and to everybody else just be kind of nice, I think he's pretty much got it in the bag, and he can win this outside of the margin of fraud.
Well, I do think he's matured as a candidate, because in 2016, he never would have had his opponents who lost to him on stage with him like he did at Iowa.
I agree.
And also Trump's tweets,
Right.
yeah, I didn't like him at the time, but it didn't lead to wars, open borders, and inflation. So I'm okay. Because I was not on Trump team 2 years ago. I was not. But now I'm
as a
100%.
country, we've begun to realize there are much worse things than mean tweets.
Yep. All right, Scott McKay,
Right?
we're going to have to leave it there. He is publisher of Hayride, contributing editor at the American Spectator, and as you just heard, author of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin. And I'm sure your book's going to sell out once again because you're on our morning show.
That's right. Thanks, John. Thanks, Amy.
Thank
Have a good weekend.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of You Store It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of You Store It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's important to have a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They aren't one of those massive companies with newer techs and subcontractors. Oh no, Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling send only their own highly skilled techs. From service to installation and everything in between, the work quality and customer service is the best. For 40 years, the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling has kept homeowners and business customers comfy and warm in the winter and nice and cool in the warmer months. Don't call the big guys, call the best. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.net. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.net. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
AM 560. The Answer.
All right, I cannot wait for our next guest because I spoke with him on the phone yesterday, and he's been around. He's been a lot of places, and he knows a lot of things. Gary McCarthy, former superintendent of CPD. Is the DNC ready? Is police ready for the DNC in August? It will be here before you know it. That and more after we check in with Mike Scott in the newsroom. Good morning, Mike.
7:32, Amy and John, and President Biden declaring the State of the Union getting stronger and stronger. In his third State of the Union address Thursday night, the president laid out his vision for freedom and democracy.
Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not.
The rebuttal of President Biden's State of the Union was done by GOP Alabama Senator Katie Britt.
One thing was quite clear, though. President Biden just doesn't get it. He's out of touch.
U.S. Capitol Police say they did arrest a Gold Star father for heckling President Biden during his State of the Union address. The trial of a Michigan father charged in connection with a deadly school shooting carried out by his teenage son does continue, but James Crumbly's communications from jail are now limited only to his lawyer. He's been accused of making threats from behind bars. We have breaking news this morning here in the city of Chicago as a second case of measles has now been identified just hours after the Department of Public Health confirmed it identified the first case of measles, the first in a city residence since 2019. The second case that was identified was that of a child staying at a migrant shelter in Pilsen. The statement goes on to say the child has recovered, and the Department of Health says The child is no longer infectious. Now, you may recall that shelter in the 2200 block of South Halstead has come under major scrutiny for poor health conditions after 5-year-old Giancarlos Martinez Rivero, who was staying at that shelter, became ill and died in December of 2023. Last month, an Indiana resident came up positive for measles and reportedly visited 3 Chicago area hospitals while contagious. In other news this morning, Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago will lay off 300 employees as it cuts dozens of government contracts. 75, in fact, of those contracts will end July 1. Staff of 1,000 will remain. Get set for a big summer of construction on the Kennedy Expressway. Monday night, weather permitting, the reversibles will close for Phase 2 of the expressway's 3-year project.
In the long run, you should see less maintenance on your cars, so that's something you can think about. And then it's just a smoother commute.
John Schumacher with IDOT says the express lanes will be rehabbed and they're adding new gates with new technology for a smoother commute and quicker opening and closing. The Bulls came through in the clutch. DeMar DeRozan with 33 in the win over Golden State, 125-122. The Bears locked down one of their premier defensive playmakers. Quarterback Jalen Johnson has the franchise tag taken off, and instead, a 4-year, $76 million deal with $54 million in guaranteed money is applied. Missouri Valley Conference basketball tournament, UIC edges Southern Illinois 84-82 in double overtime. The news, a service of Team Hochberg. They've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners with the best rates and service. Let Team Hochberg help you by visiting 56david.com or call 855-563-2843. Lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka believes an open border means trouble.
If you open the borders, what are you going to do if you're a bad guy? Forget the cartels and the drug smugglers and the weapons smugglers and the human traffickers, whether it's any group out there that hates you because you're an American. What are you going to be doing for the last 3 years?
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
Are you ready to embark upon an unforgettable expedition this summer? I hope you'll join me, Mike Gallagher, along with Dr. Sebastian Gorka and our special guests on the Patriots Alaska Cruise. We'll unpack the trends and influences shaping our world today while sailing the pristine coast of Alaska over 4th of July. Learn more at patriotsalaskacruise.com. This experience is way more than a vacation. It's a chance to participate in spirited discussions and thought-provoking lectures on board the ship with like-minded patriots. 7 action-packed days will chart a course toward a bright American future, all while surrounded by Alaska's rustic and natural wonders on a beautiful luxury cruise ship. You'll experience powerful creation immersed in the splendor of glaciers and fjords. Mark your calendar, June 29th, July the 6th. Secure your cabin by calling 855-565-5519 or book online at patriotsalaskacruise.com.
As a business owner, do you have a strategy for exiting your business? Most business owners don't.
Studies done by the Exit Planning Institute show 75% of business owners who don't have an exit plan are dissatisfied with their exit, and 80% of businesses put to market never sell. Total Clarity Wealth Management understands the hesitation to discuss exiting. Will customers leave? Will competitors take advantage? Will key employees leave? That's why they offer confidential planning. Contact Anne Marie at Total Clarity Wealth Management. Discover what the financial foundation should be to pursue an exit that is satisfying. At some point, you are going to leave your business. Will it be on your terms? Total Clarity can show you the way to financial readiness and keep you on track. Anne Marie is a certified exit planning advisor. Visit TotalClarityBusiness.com. That's TotalClarityBusiness.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Total Clarity Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RADIO for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code RADIO.
740 on AM 560, The Answer. And this update from the Team Hochberg Traffic Center is a service of Turnkey.pro. Their team of veteran consultants know how to reduce costs and grow new revenue streams, all without having to hire on-site professionals. Turnkey has solutions for your business. Visit Turnkey.pro. That's Turnkey.pro. Kennedy on the outbound side, an accident on the entrance ramp. It's the on-ramp from Fullerton Avenue causing some delays this morning. The Ike right now settling in at about 45 minutes from 390 into the old post office. Stop-and-go traffic on the Bishop Ford. If you're traveling inbound between the Stony Island feeder and the Dan Ryan Expressway, an accident right near the Stony Island feeder is spread on both shoulders. A reminder that this morning you will find some public demonstrations and a few streets blocked downtown in the Loop on LaSalle near Dearborn, Jackson, between LaSalle and Dearborn this morning. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Rainy and gloomy throughout the day, high 47. Rain and drizzle overnight, a low of 36. Cloudy and again gloomy tomorrow. Rain, showers, and heavy gusty winds, high 44, but it will feel much colder than that. And then we spin ahead our clocks 1 hour. We spring forward tomorrow night with a low of 28. 44 at O'Hare, 44 and rain at Midway. Light rain in Joliet, 46. Rain in Morris in 45. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
All right, they unveiled the plan, the security measures that they're going to put in place for the DNC, which is 5 months away. And you guys may think, oh, that's a while away. It's going to be here in a blink of an eye. And there's going to be public places for people to protest, because you know that there will be protesters if they're not blocking the streets or Lakeshore Drive, entrances to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, or I-90 on the way, the entrance to O'Hare Airport. Oh, they'll be making noise come this August.
We just want to make sure that it is done in a safe and secure area, so that that right to assemble doesn't get taken over by individuals who may have other interests.
Oh, there'll be individuals with other interests. Don't you worry your pretty little face there, Mayor Johnson. And then we have this guy named Jeff Burnside. He's Secret Service DNC convention organizer. He was at this press conference, too, talking about how they're going to ask neighbors what there's an app where you can download an app and tell them your concerns. What?
We'll canvass these areas in the upcoming weeks to hear directly from residents and businesses. We want to know their concerns now.
Snitch app?
Huh? So what they're going to do, they're going to put big fencing around the parameters around the United Center and McCormick Place. They're going to do pretty much what they did in 2012, NATO, when we had NATO here, and they kept talking about that Superintendent Snelling, saying, we're going to do exactly like we did, the same playbook. So I call it the Gary McCarthy plan. And with that, let's welcome back to the program former Superintendent Gary McCarthy. He is also, as you know, the Deputy Commissioner, or was, for NYPD and the Police Chief at Newark, New Jersey. Good morning, Mr. McCarthy. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, John. Good morning.
And I should mention, too, that you're currently the Police Chief at Willowbrook.
Willow Springs. Willow Springs.
Let's try that again. Willow Springs. In Willow Springs is near Willowbrook, maybe not. We don't.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
yeah,
then
there's
I'm
a bunch
not.
of willows, but yeah.
I've only lived here for 50 plus years. But anyway, all right. So when you heard them, because you watch the news, obviously, when you saw that plan, did you think, you know what, they just stole my idea?
No, I didn't. If you heard me speak back during the George Floyd, what were they called? Mostly peaceful demonstrations.
Yes, sir. Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you heard me during those, I was very frustrated because they did not implement the plan and the strategies that we used back during NATO. We did an after action report where we basically critiqued everything we did. We talked about what worked, what didn't work, what we could do better, and we wrote it down, and it was on the shelf on 35th Street, and nobody thought to pull it out, dust it off, and use it. And, I'm pleased, and I hope that Superintendent Snelling stays true to that. I didn't really hear much of a plan. I heard them talk about how it's going to be an all hands on deck and everybody's going to work together. And I just had a chuckle to myself when I heard Superintendent Snelling talk about how they're going to focus on constitutional policing all at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Here's the buzzword.
Every single thing that we're doing right now is rooted in constitutional policing.
What does that mean? And John Anthony's a former police officer, and he doesn't know what that means.
I get it, but...
Yeah, well, I think it's called policing. We have a constitution in this country, but it's funny. I went to it's actually not funny. It's sad. I went to my first police conference a couple of years ago, out in Dallas, and I went to the Major City Chiefs Conference where I was the vice president. I'm a charter member, not charter. I'm a lifetime member of that organization, and it's some really serious, intelligent people. And I was really proud to be part of that organization and still am. And when I went to this conference, I was struck by the fact that if you went to one of our conferences 10 years ago, we talked about crime from morning to night, got up the next morning and did it again. We would obviously work other things into it. But when I went to this conference, all I heard about was diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I said, our job is what's called law enforcement. And it seems to me that law enforcement has lost its way with political correctness. And, you have to work constitutional policing into every conversation that you have. You have to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion all at the same time. That's wonderful. And, constitutional policing is what the Constitution says to do. So I'm it's something, it blows my mind, and people don't really know this, but when the Department of Justice came here after the Laquan McDonald shooting and castigated everything that we did, including our training, which, by the way, our training superseded the state requirements from the Illinois State Training Board, yet they castigated our training. That means everybody in the state of Illinois has a problem with their training. But put that aside, a year before the Laquan McDonald shooting, that very same Department of Justice was bringing police chiefs from across the country here to Chicago to learn what it is that we were doing that was reducing crime, reducing complaints against officers, and reducing police-related shootings all at the same time.
It was across the world. So, you had people from other countries too. I recall that.
Yeah, John, it's absolutely true. And you know what? I'm going to throw you guys a tip here because nobody has done it. About a year ago, there was an article that was written in one of the small community newspapers that the quote was that crime went down during my tenure, but complaints against officers skyrocketed. And I kind of lost my mind on that because it's patently false.
Right.
So I went online and pulled up all the numbers that are reported in the Chicago Police Department, and I found the most fascinating thing. And I challenge you guys to take a look at this. Go to the Chicago Police Department website and look up annual reports. And they go from 1965 and at this point it was 2021. But mysteriously, it goes from 2010 to 2017.
No way.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 were deleted from the numbers.
Now, why is that?
I could tell you why. It's because from 2014 to 2016, the murder rate jumped by 54% after I got fired. So that's what we're dealing with.
Those are some real numbers.
I was on a lot of different committees with the chief back then, and I'm telling you, we didn't always agree on different on everything, but what he was able to do in the city of Chicago has not been replicated since he left. And I'm not just saying that because he's here. I was on these committees with him. I was coming to sneaking into Chicago because my district wouldn't let me go into Chicago.
Oh, really?
Chicago. Oh, yeah. So I would have to sneak into different meetings that I would get invited to.
Yeah, that just doesn't sound like America.
It
All
does.
right, so in New York, because I know that you were there during 9/11 and you worked and moved your way up the ranks to deputy commissioner of NYPD, Governor Hochul has called in the National Guard, and here's her big announcement to patrol the subways, by the way.
Point one, I'm redeploying nearly 1,000 members of the New York State Police, MTA Police, and MTA National Guard to conduct bag checks in the city's busiest transits. You'll start seeing them at the tables, making sure that weapons are not being brought in, working in concert with our New York State Police, as well as our NYPD. Because no one heading to their job or to visit family or to go to a doctor appointment should worry that the person sitting next to them possesses a deadly weapon.
So why now? I mean, there's been crime on the subways for a long time. And of course, you can't forget Daniel Penny, who defended people on the subway and then was charged with, I think, with involuntary manslaughter. So why do you think she's doing this at this point in time?
It's going to be political. It's going to be political, period. And politics and policing is just like politics in the military. If you go back, I'm a history buff, and if you look at the relationship between presidents and people like Douglas MacArthur, they had problems. And decisions are being made that affect policing. And I got to tell you, I have enormous respect for the New York State Police. My brother was a state trooper. My partner, when we were sergeants, became the head of the New York State Police. They're an absolutely great organization. But they specialize in more urban environments, not places like the Bronx or Brooklyn, especially in the subways. So it's like putting them in the wrong position. The National Guard, I refused National Guard. There were demands when I was in Newark.
Okay.
There were demands when I was here in Chicago. And the fact is, they are trained to go into combat, not to do law enforcement. So you're taking square pegs and putting them in round holes, and it's just going to be a failure. It's got to be political, and I hope to God that we don't have one of those crazy events where everybody comes back and points at it and says, "What a catastrophe," and hold some poor National Guardsman or state trooper accountable, as they like to say. I like to say it's more of a pound of flesh that's happening today with policing in this country.
Well, there were some rumors circulating that Hamas is targeting NYC subways. Does that intel sound familiar to you? I mean, there's always a risk of a terrorist attack, especially since we're letting, the 60th one on the terrorist list just snuck into the United States last week?
Nothing to see.
Yeah, you see, that really concerns me. But, what the NYPD did post 9/11, and actually I'm very proud to say that I was part of it, was developing an intelligence system that really went across the globe. if you recall some incidents that occurred, remember when they blew up buses in London? We had a detective on the ground there within 2 hours, and we were talking to him via satellite, filling us in on what was going on there, because what happens there affects us here, just like what's happening in Israel affects us here. So that concerns me, but the intelligence network that the NYPD has developed, and I hope that they kept it going, will be aware of what's going on, should be aware of what's going on. And, you know, they are trained and done these things before. We did them back in the day when I was in New York, which it's starting to scare me that I'm gone almost 20 years out of New York.
Hey, Chief, did you guys have any buses dropping off the illegal immigrants into Western Springs? And
It's
have you
Willow
seen,
Springs.
Willow Springs. What did I say?
No, you said Western Springs.
No,
now we're all mussing our willows up today.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Don't even mention Willow Springs anymore.
I know.
If you want to talk about buses, migrants. Yeah, I'm in Western Springs.
Western
Springs.
I was right.
Oh my God, what is?
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm
was
having
right.
a very bad blonde moment. I really hope you forgive me right now.
No,
I'm in Willow Springs.
But you know,
no, we do not.
Chicago.
So have you gotten any busloads of immigrants?
No, we have not. We have not.
What about an increase?
It's a very small community. I'm sorry?
Chicago has had an increase of 500% interactions with the Venezuelan population. Have you seen any increase? Or are there any illegal immigrants in the Springs? How about that?
Willow Springs.
Willow Springs. No, we have not. We have not come across them. The closest was they were put up at a hotel in Burr Ridge. I believe Countryside around us also is getting some. They're called new arrivals now. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Let's get the right phrases.
Or non-citizens, okay?
I'm sorry, Chief. I'm not PC.
But it's just amazing.
Yeah,
like
I know that, John. That's why I like you.
The Palatine Police Department, a bus came in, and the Palatine Police literally like, no, don't get off the bus. Follow us this way, and drove them to Route 53.
Yeah. Well, you know, everybody out here has pretty much come up with ordinances and plans how to deal with it, and we have the same thing. But fortunately, we have not seen it yet.
Okay.
We're like a needle in a haystack out here. It's not a big community, and I really like it because the people here actually like the police, and they're willing to work with us. So.
Oh, that's refreshing. All right, Gary McCarthy, former superintendent, former deputy commissioner, NYPD. Do you have anything to add, or do you want to say anything else?
No, just go back and take a look at those numbers because, you know, that's a Chicago story that nobody realizes, but that's the type of stuff that goes on around there. It's really mind-boggling because during my tenure, we reduced crime, we reduced murders, we reduced arrests. In other words, we arrested about 30,000 less people to get like a 41% reduction in crime over the 5 years that I was here. And we had like a 40% reduction in police-related shootings every single year. Complaints against officers, crime, police-related shootings, and arrests went down all 5 years from the year before.
Now, where do you find it again? I'm on the website now. Which is it on the statistics and data?
Annual report. You know what? We'll go through
annual
it.
Reports.
Against the clock.
Okay.
Annual reports.
Look at
annual
reports.
Police Chief of Willow Springs, former police superintendent Chicago, worked in NYPD, and the police chief of Newark, New Jersey. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate
Always
it.
a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Take care, guys.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Federal authorities are now pressuring banks to spy on the transactions of conservatives. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and this is yet another reason why you need a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To find out more, text the word HEDGE to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Secure your IRA or 401k right now. Text the word HEDGE to 989898 to request your free info kit
Message and data rates may apply.
Paid for by Birch Gold Group.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, who's going to be on your show this Saturday?
Mark Rice is running for Congress, and I believe it's the 8th or 9th district.
Okay.
Got a couple of county board candidates and a few state reps and senators that are running for office.
All right.
I tried to do a debate between Boss and Darren Bailey. That's still out there, guys.
Ooh.
Still out there.
But Bailey, I mean, Trump endorsed Boss.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, what exactly is their list of demands? We'll tell you who wants what. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Measles diagnosed for the second time in the city of Chicago. Chicago School Board bill on the governor's desk, and the Bulls take down the Warriors in the final seconds. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
More hiring than expected. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is in the jobs report just out.
The job market created 275,000 new jobs last month. That's about 75,000 more than expected.
However, January's hiring was revised down, 129,000 less than first thought.
The unemployment rate rose to 3.9% in February. That breaks a 3-month streak at 3.7%.
That's Fox's Ginny Casola. Last night, President Biden took credit for record job growth.
My inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world.
Though a majority of Americans disapprove of his economic policies, in a State of the Union address, he says he needs to be a wake-up call.
Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today.
13 times he referenced his likely rematch rival, though never mentioning former President Trump by name, on everything from Russia to January 6th to abortion rights.
My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it.
Republicans booed the president when he brought up the illegal immigration crisis.
We can fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it.
They even goaded the president to bring up Laken Riley by name. The Georgia nursing student, her alleged killer, is in the U.S. illegally.
To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
Now another grieving father heckled the president. Stephen Nakui shouted about his son among the 13 U.S. troops killed in a suicide bombing during the chaotic U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Capitol Police removed Nakui and arrested him. Former President Trump was reacting in real time to the Biden speech on Truth Social, calling it angry and polarizing, then saying in a video,
Biden has actively aided and abetted the importation of millions and millions of illegal alien migrants and resettled them into your communities.
America's listening to Fox News.
44 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A second case of measles has been identified in Chicago just hours after the Department of Public Health confirmed it identified the first case of measles in a city residence since 2019. The second case was identified in a child staying at a migrant shelter in Pilsen. That shelter has come under scrutiny for health conditions after a 5-year-old who was staying at that shelter with his family became ill and died in December of 2023. The village of Flossmoor's mayor shared a letter Thursday evening that apparently is firing the village's police chief, Gerald Jones. Village Representative Kevin Dorsey said the letter is how the chief got word of his supposed termination.
He's disappointed. I think he really came here with the desire to have a long relationship as chief of police with the community.
The village of 10,000 hired Jones from Macomb last year. A man and elderly woman were found dead Thursday in a home in Berwyn. Police could be seen in video going in and out of a home in the 1900 block of East Avenue in Berwyn. The two identified as 9-year-old Nina Reyes and 49-year-old Peter Reyes. A cause of death is not known. Illinois House Republicans are introducing legislation to shore up the state's weak response to human trafficking. AM 560's Kevin Bessler has more from Springfield this morning.
State Representative Jeff Kiker has introduced a measure which would make it easier for child victims to have their juvenile records expunged or sealed of criminal acts they were forced to commit while they were a victim of trafficking. Kiker says an anti-trafficking organization recently gave Illinois an F grade for its current laws to address the problem.
Of the 6 metrics that they use to grade a state's efforts to protect victims of exploitation and support their recovery, Illinois only receives 1 passing grade of B for prosecuting abusers. That means we have a lot of work to do.
Shared Hope International's annual report card gave Illinois failing grades in the areas of continued care for victims and prevention and training for those in law enforcement. I'm Kevin Bessler.
The Bulls come through in the clutch and beat Golden State 125-122. That's 3 in a row, and they take on the Clippers tomorrow. College hoops this weekend. The Fighting Illini wrap up the regular season with Iowa. Northwestern will host Minnesota at Welsh Ryan. Missouri Valley Conference Tournament yesterday. Arch Madness in St. Louis. UIC edges Southern Illinois 84-82 in double overtime. The news, a service of Team Hochberg. Let Team Hochberg help you by visiting 56david.com or call 855-563-2843. That's 56david.com, lower.com, equal housing lender, NMLS 1124061. 8:05, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now, the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
After another record for the S&P 500, Wall Street will be reacting today to the monthly employment report for February. Gap shares are rallying up 6.5%, though it just had another year of soft sales. Its quarters showed signs of making progress on making the business more profitable. It was seeing some lower costs recently and had fewer markdowns. Revenue from its 4 brands, Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic, and Athleta, rose 1% from a year ago. Wall Street was predicting sales would fall, but they were flat. A major health insurer is still working to get all its systems back up after a cyber attack. United Health now predicts it will have its Change Healthcare medical claims software and network restored in a couple of weeks. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
8:06, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Women's sports are under attack in America by those with a radical agenda that seeks to erase the differences between men and women in classrooms, on playing fields, and in locker rooms. No one knows this better than All-American swimmer Riley Gaines. See Riley Gaines live in Chicagoland on Friday, March 22nd, presented by Breakthrough Ideas and the Parents Matter Coalition. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/tickets. That's 560theanswer.com/tickets. Sponsored by Opum Tax Advocates and attorney Stephen A. Leahy.
Do you own a business? Are you aware that your business could be hijacked right from under you without your knowledge? Yes, hijacked. Here's how. Fraudsters pretend to be owners and officers of your company by filing false statements of information with the Secretary of State. They essentially become you. That is frightening. BizTrack from Capital Oversight can help defend you and your business and keep you from losing everything. BizTrack offers the most proactive real-time business identity theft solution. BizTrack actively monitors your business information 24/7. It detects any changes that may impact your operations and immediately notifies you by phone, text, or email. Don't leave your business exposed any longer. Secure your business. Secure your future. Trust BizTrack from Capital Oversight. Go to protectmycorp.com right now. That's protectmycorp.com or call 855-417-1700. Don't delay. Let BizTrack protect your organization from identity theft.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm 76. I feel great with it, and I won't stop ever taking it.
I'm 67, and I'm pretty active. I go out in the fields and work, and I noticed the difference. I take it in the morning, but I've been taking it, religiously. My body seems to like it.
If it wasn't good, I wouldn't be doing it for 23 years. So it works good.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer. And for a limited time, get 35% off your first order, plus $10 off any additional sets with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
You know, our friends at Henry Repeating Arms, they manufacture a line of very high-quality rifles, shotguns, and revolvers that you can be very proud to own. Now, they're made in America with parts and materials also from America. Now, they use old-world craftsmanship combined with cutting-edge technology to deliver reliable and accuracy that you can trust in any situation. Now, they're easy to use and maintain. It makes them an excellent choice for both a novice and experienced shooter. Henry has over 200 models, so you can find the firearm that's right for you. There's also new releases all throughout the year. And every purchase is backed by their lifetime warranty and the company's owner. Anthony Imperato also gives his personal guarantee for 100% satisfaction. Now, make sure you go to their website, henryusa.com. Order their free catalog. They'll send you free decals and a list of dealers where you are. That's henryusa.com. Free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are. You're going to love this company and these firearms like I do.
8:10, let's check the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Want to tell you about the south side of Chicago, Auburn-Gresham neighborhood. Police activity there, a fatal shooting investigation, 82nd and Ashland this morning, and police remain on that scene. Bishop Ford all jammed up due to an earlier accident. It's on the inbound side between 103rd and the Dan Ryan merge. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Rainy and gloomy today, high 47, currently 44. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Friday morning. Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft.
Hey.
So we all watched it. You watched it. I watched it. This string of lies from Biden, who is very angry at times. And every time he told another lie, he yelled.
He did.
And then stumbled, and made mistakes. And he had a little bit of a coughing fit.
Israel has a added burden.
And I kept talking about shrinkflation, the chippies.
Yeah, the chips.
Is this the silver bullet, the chippies in the mag? Is this what's going to catapult him in to another
more chips
round as president of these United States?
Too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to healthcare to housing. In fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag,
President.
put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why that's it. And you know what also I've noticed too, ever since COVID, you go in, I like LaCroix water. It's normally 12 cans.
Yeah, expensive.
In a cart or in a box. Now that was $3.99. Now it's 8 cans instead of 12.
Yeah.
And it's $4.09.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they're doing it.
Sounds about right.
So who's being greedy? And is this the issue that's going to change everything? With more on this, let's welcome back to the program James Bovard. You can follow him on Twitter at Jim Bovard, Jimbovard. He's contributing editor for the American Conservative and author of, most recently, Last Rites, The Death of American Liberty. Good morning, Mr. Bovard. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Good. So is this shrinkflation the silver bullet that's going to save Biden's career?
Biden has got a rich fantasy life, and that showed last night. It was funny to see him take a break from his old yeller routine to suddenly start talking about the number of chips in a bag. And he was hitting heavily on Tuesday the issue of cookies. He was very upset about how cookies had shrank. And it's kind of like, it's almost, that's something which ties into his pitch last night on insulin. making sure that insulin is not overpriced, because Biden wants to make sure those giant cookies are still out there, so you get more diabetics that need Biden to rescue them from the price of insulin.
I mean, he even mentioned, and he dropped names. He was driving the Cookie Monster, the Cookie. So it was crazy. But last night we learned that, yes, he wants to increase taxes because the wealthy, don't you know, Jim, have to pay their fair share. He wants to increase the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. Did he sell the American people on that? Because that whole shtick is getting old.
I certainly hope not. I mean, it was very difficult to keep track of all the different BS in his speech. I mean, there were things he was just throwing out, like, he's going to save house buyers money by canceling the need for title insurance. Oh, this is going to work out very well. We're going to have Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac wrecking the housing market again, like they did in 2006 plus. There are so many different really bad ideas that he was throwing out there. But it's interesting to see that the media judged his speech as if it was a silent movie, and all that mattered is that Biden kept talking and waving his arms every now and then, and the actual content of what he said didn't matter that much because Orange Man bad.
Well, the headline on NBC News, John, look at this. Biden delivers fiery State of the Union, sparring with critics and swiping at Trump. But he never used Trump's name. He kept saying his predecessor, and he said it over and over and over again.
Yeah, and it was unseemly because, I mean, it was I think in January when Biden spoke near Valley Forge, he was very explicit linking Trump to Hitler, and that's been a message of his presidential campaign as well. And it's interesting to see how the standards of decorum almost have completely collapsed in the last 6 years in American politics. To see this, to see the Hitler stuff beating, and of course Biden is out there calling anyone who doesn't worship and defer to him a racist, and all this nonsense about voting rights when the most important voting right is the ballot harvesting and these mystery drop boxes that have to be treated like the ballots came straight from God. I mean, there are so many levels of absurdity here, but it doesn't matter all the lies and all the absurdities. If Biden wins in November, he's going to tell us again it's the will of the people.
Oh, sorry about that. I saw that you wrote an article, Teachers Unions Have Always Been Terrible. I have an idea. I know it'll never pass, but one can dream. Just like police and fire can't strike,
right?
Teachers should not be able to strike during the school year. Sorry, shouldn't be.
They're not going to get out and walk picket lines in the summer because that's their time.
I know, but think about what I'm saying. Think about how much destruction that can happen if you have to. I mean, because your whole life is upended. Look at COVID. COVID showed us that we had to stay home with our kids. We couldn't really do a lot of things. I mean,
I've been through 5 strikes and 1 work stoppage.
Yeah.
And then that work stoppage, which was a bunch of bull jive, not even legal. They should have all gotten fired for that. But
that's what I'm saying. Let's
but here's the thing.
And
then when they were done, they came out and acted like heroes. Like, just think of all the lives we saved because we didn't go to work.
Right.
Because there was a slight spike in COVID cases. And I thought, oh my God. That was the one time where I thought I was going to lose my son.
What are your thoughts about that, Jim?
Well, it's amazing to see what the teacher salaries are in Chicago, considering that the student achievement has collapsed. And it's fine to hear Biden saying that the answer is to pay higher salaries to teachers, but the entire government school system has been so irresponsible and so destructive. It's blighted so many lives, and the whole idea that throwing money at it's going to fix the problem. There's been so much money thrown at in the last decades, so much more money per student, and the achievement has nosedived. And it's just sad to see the teachers talking as if they have a right to blight young people's lives just to boost their own pay.
Well, and then they have this, the summary of the CTU contract, which Illinois Policy got and others. And one thing I found very interesting is that they want their proposal for Johnson's Bring Chicago Home, that's the real estate tax hike for housing, we call it the mansion tax, that they want some of that revenue to go to house CTU members.
I just read that.
I mean, that's a big ask, don't you think?
Well, this is typical of the arrogance and just the unlimited demands of the teacher unions. I mean, big city teacher unions have been some of the worst thing that have happened to Black and Hispanic children because they simply don't care about whether the kids learn, and they have a horrible attitude. It's something which is very clear nearby here in Baltimore. I mean, I think you've had like half the high schools in the city don't have a single student who is proficient in math, and yet the teacher salaries have gone through the roof. And there are so many things that the school systems don't do to basically keep teachers safe from violence at this point, but it's all about the money.
Well, our mayor is a CTU member and former community organizer for the CTU. And here's Stacey Davis Gates. She's the president. I just want to hear this. This was Tuesday. She talked about what they want, and she's not holding back.
We are asking you to give us an opportunity to tell our story. It will cost $50 billion and 3 cents. Where's the Civic Federation Committee? Where y'all at? Where y'all table? Yes, it will. And so what?
Wow.
That's audacity.
Eric.
I know. And so what? You're paying, and that's the bottom line. That's what they think.
And it's amazing to see the brazenness. It's almost like simply being a government teacher means that people have a right to seize part of the paycheck of anybody who lives in that jurisdiction. And this is how it's working out. And there is complete lack of liability. It's the same with the teacher union as it is with Pfizer and the COVID vaccines. Federal government gave Pfizer a complete waiver of liability for any harm from those COVID vaccines. And you've had the politicians have done the same with the teacher unions for the damage from the total failure to teach young people how to read, do math, other things. And it's a horrendous, and they're in Chicago. This has been an outrage forever. The Chicago Tribune had a great series in the late 80s, early 90s on how it was almost impossible to fire a really bad teacher in Chicago. And it's the same now, and it's like, it's sad to see what people tolerate.
Well, we have teachers that are, under suspicion have been, put on administrative leave for touching students inappropriately. They're not in jail, but get this, they keep getting paid until their trial is over. So sometimes that's 2 to 3 years later. Isn't that, I mean, that's just wrong, but that's something that they negotiated through their contract. So,
wait, and they talk about safety and security. Didn't they just remove all police from the schools?
Yeah, well, that's going to take place in the fall. But yes, they voted unanimously. The school board did.
And they want a new organizing committee.
They want what?
A new organizing committee.
To organize what? What was that?
The members of the new organizing committee sought to submit proposals that expand union rights for CTU members in CPS schools and for educators at non-union charter schools. We also made proposals to continue to keep the charter school industry in check and accountable. But they're not in check and accountable. But let's keep the schools that are actually doing great things. Let's keep them in check and accountable, but we're not going to be accountable for our actions at all. Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, this is a typical how it's been for decades because you have the teacher unions out there wrecking every proposal for school choice. Any chance that parents had to get away from the teacher monopoly, the government school monopoly, the teacher unions that were there to try to lock the gate.
Yeah.
So many millions of lives have been blighted by that, and by politicians wrecking the quality of schools in other ways. But
I filed the 51% trigger bill, where parents, if they're not liking what's happening in their schools, they can file a petition and have their kids go, and the money follow them. It went nowhere in Springfield. But I still believe education is a great equalizer, and for for Black people to continue to vote for these people and put these people in office, they're not looking out for Black people's best interests, and it upsets me and it frustrates me.
I agree completely. It's a complete scam. It's gone on for decades. Some days I almost get cynical.
Yeah.
Oh, you?
On
We're
the
never
edge.
cynical here.
On the edge.
I know. All right, James Bovard, you can follow him on Twitter at Jim Bovard, and he's contributing editor for the American Conservative and author of, most recently, Last Rites, The Death of American Liberty. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful weekend.
Take care.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. A storm is on the horizon. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000, 630-834-6000, or charlesequipment.com.
If you want the best meats and seafood that you can't ever find in the butcher aisle of a grocery store, you need to check out my guy Chris with Second City Prime. Second City Prime has scoured the world for the best meats and seafood on the planet. Learn how to discover them all for yourself at secondcityprime.com. I met Chris nearly 20 years ago in a meat truck outside the Board of Trade. Him and his wife, Susie, built a business that you can take advantage of. They built that business by delivering the best product to the people at extremely reasonable prices. Treat yourself to a unique corporate gift. Specialty items like Japanese Wagyu, the Iberico, Spanish pork, the South African cold water lobster tails, and the Colorado domestic lamb. Learn more at secondcityprime.com. A special offer only for AM 560 listeners. Spend $250 and get 10% off your purchase by using promo code LIBERTY at checkout. That's 10% off $250 using promo code LIBERTY at checkout. See it all today at secondcityprime.com. That's secondcityprime.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Open mic! Open mic Friday! Call in now! Open mic Friday!
Not singing along, John Anthony. 312-642-5600. Turnkey.pro answer line. If you can't get a line right away, then, keep trying until you can, or you could text us at 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Of course, we talk with the father, the godfather of Open Mic Friday, David Kolsek, president and owner, CEO of Turnkey.pro. Good morning, Mr. Kolsek. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys this morning?
Good. So what do you want to start with?
Well, first of all, I was hoping last night, I watched painfully through that, very, very angry speech, as everybody kind of alluded to, but I was just hoping he was going to rip off a mask and, there'd be Gary Sinise underneath, surprise, it's just a joke, but it didn't happen. So
how long did you last?
Start today.
Well, how long did you last?
I lasted probably, I had the commentary, the Trump tweets along with it on the Real Broadcasting Network or something like that. So I probably lasted longer than I would have normally, probably 30 minutes.
Wow. And it took him 40 minutes to get to immigration, which is one of the reasons why I was watching, not as a reporter,
but and he mentioned
as a
that
citizen.
shrinkflation before of it, right? So it was more important to talk about the potato chips than it was about immigration. But
yeah, and people that are getting murdered by illegals that are here. So, all right, I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, not at all. I wanted to start out by saying that I like Charles Barkley. I mean, I always liked him on the basketball court, even though the Bulls played against him, right? And it was always close. But he was always a baller, and when he retired from the game and started commenting on games and announcing, I thought he was really funny, right? I even liked his golf swing. I don't know if you've seen his golf swing. He looked like he's just terrible. Anyway, but I don't know. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's really funny. So, but he recently right? It's I don't know. He stops in the middle of it anyway. So he just recently made some comments that were quite controversial. He said that if he saw a black man wearing a Donald Trump mugshot T-shirt, he'd punch them in the face. And that was met with a lot of funny memes with black men wearing the T-shirt, egging Charles Barkley to bring it, right? That was funny, too. But then on the heels of that, he also said some things that didn't quite square with the threat to black people wearing a Trump shirt. He said that he always voted Democrat, except for one time when he voted for John Kasich, which is hard to understand. And then he said that every 4 years, Democrats would give speeches about what they were going to do for poor and black people, which made him vote that way. But then he realized as the Democrats, really just were giving every 4 years kind of lip service and empty promises. So clearly Chuck's confused a little bit, but I think he came full circle and he realizes that, why black people are turning to someone that seems to hear them and issues that matter to them. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if you saw Charles Barkley wearing a Trump mugshot shirt when it's all done, right? So stay tuned on that. But I also want to talk a little bit about the election in California where Watermelon head Adam Schiff and Steve Garvey, in short, they robbed Steve Garvey. He was leading Adam Schiff with 1.8 million votes. And just like that, it was cut in half. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah, right before.
And then Schiff got more votes by a razor-thin margin. Does that sound familiar? Something like 27,000 votes. I mean, it looks like more tomfoolery is going on in that election, so it's hard for me to have any confidence that we're going to have a fair election coming up. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. Voting machines have got to go. We need paper ballots that are watermarked and hand-counted. There's really no way confidence gets restored without them. And what's up with all the people stepping down or dying, right? Victoria Nuland is a notable resignation. She's the one who told us about the Ukraine biolabs in her testimony to Congress. Nuland's the definition of a deep state bureaucrat. She's an architect of the Ukraine color revolution, and she coordinated with the CIA to overthrow that sovereign nation in 2014. The problem is she's got a big mouth. Flashback to March 8th of 2022, when she admits in a public hearing that the U.S. do indeed have biolabs in Ukraine, and that they're quite concerned that Russian forces are seeking to gain control of these biolabs. And they're working with Ukrainians to make sure the research material doesn't fall in the hands of the Russians. After she spilled the beans, every conservative news outlet, including Tucker Carlson at the time on Fox, was talking about these biolabs. Nuland is one of the slimiest deep state rats on earth. She's complicit in crimes against humanity. She's resigning because she knows her plot to overthrow Russia ultimately failed, and the incoming administration will hold her and everyone accountable. She's running before justice comes knocking. I'm not sure if that'll work out for her, but good for her for trying. And then you've got Mitch McConnell stepping down from his leadership position and Kirsten Sinema choosing not to run. Ronna McDaniels, too. You've also got to notice a couple of pretty significant deaths, one in Jacob Rothschild, the head of the Rothschild family, who some say has a net worth of over $1 trillion. Well, it's got to be a hell of a lot more than that, given that they control most every central bank in the world. It's significant to hear the announcement of his death, and what does it really mean for the world, the banking system itself? I have no idea. Maybe nothing, but maybe something. And then you've got to look at Angela Chow, the sister-in-law of Mitch McConnell. It's a pretty strange accident where her Tesla reversed into a lake where she perished. I wonder why that is, and maybe if that has something to do with Mitch having to step down or wanting to step down. I've also noticed lately that there's been a lot of insider selling of stock. That is, people who are selling their own company stock in large quantities. It's unusual activity, but seemingly going on with some pretty notable figures. The Waltons of Walmart, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Bill Gates of Microsoft, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, Mark Zuckerberg of Meta or Facebook. This small group of insiders is accountable for $11 billion, that's billion with a B, in stock liquidation. I don't care who you are, but that's something to make note of. And then you've got this panel on MSNBC who's openly mocking the idea that immigration is a top issue for voters this time around. Jen Psaki said that she lives in Virginia and sarcastically said, what are they thinking? Then Rachel Maddow chimes in with, well, that Virginia does have a border with West Virginia, and just laughing about that. And it's just, I think they're out of touch with normal people, and they have no idea the damage that they're doing to themselves. To add all this to the news, you've got all these politicians suddenly falling in line to endorse Trump just after Super Tuesday. You've got Mitch McConnell, not exactly the most enthusiastic supporter. Glenn Youngkin, finally, right? Virginia governor, Johnny Erst, state senator, and Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, all falling in line. But you're not going to see an endorsement by Nikki Haley for Trump, at least not until the pain wears off. Have you seen the latest fires in the panhandle of Texas? I hear that over 1 million acres of land have been scorched in that area. Do you know who occupies the land that was scorched?
Who?
Texas cattle. Most of that damage has killed livestock and scorched the earth that they graze on. It's also interesting to note that none of that land was owned by Bill Gates or the Chinese, who've been quietly buying up land for years here. It just makes you go, right? And one last thing that makes me wonder is hearing Biden talk about the fires in Lahaina. I don't know if you saw this quote, and I quote him, "And if you fly over the areas that have burned to the ground, you'll see in the midst of 20 homes that were just totally destroyed, one home is sitting there because it had the right roof on it." What? I mean, could that be a reference to the blue roof conspiracy theory that the ones that had blue roofs didn't burn? Oh, the horror, right? Remember that conspiracy theorists were right about Hunter's laptop, vaccines being harmful, the pandemic, the lockdown, hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin working, face masks were used as fear propaganda, Twitter being censored by the CIA, Epstein trafficking island, Ukraine biolabs, child trafficking, Russiagate, and all the way back to the fake Steele dossier. That's a big list of them being right. So what to think about all this disjointed news? First of all, it's clear that you're going to need to find a conspiracy theorist friend because you're probably going to need one. People like Charles Barkley are waking up to a lot of truth. Elections are rigged. People in trouble, they step down and they run. Elites have a special insiders club that we're not in. The media mocks us and despises us. Our government lies to us. Politicians only care about themselves, and conspiracy theorists are more right than they are wrong. The world isn't getting darker. It's getting detoxified. The darkness that you see represents the toxins that were crippling the collective psyche of humanity. You're only seeing it because it's being extracted. So have a great weekend, guys.
All right. Thank you. Wonderful as always.
Yeah. Good job.
Very thoughtful in his commentary, and we appreciate and love him. Turnkey.pro. If you need anything, they're the ones. Consulting. I could get out the book and
he was spot on about Charles Barkley.
Oh, spot on. Yeah. What do you think about?
I'm gonna make a shirt. I already made it. I took it off my website, but I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna order myself one, and I'm gonna wear it. And I hope TNT is coming to a Chicago Bulls game because I'm gonna look on the schedule. I'm going to get my friend Kim Goddard to give me some tickets to the Bulls game. And then I'm going to go with my Trump shirt.
With his
mug shot on it.
And what's, okay.
And I dare old man Barkley or Sir Barkley to hit me. First of all, I won't hit him back. You know what I'll do? I'm going to collect that check. I'm going to collect that check.
Oh, you see if he's going to put his money where his mouth is?
Put your money where your mouth is,
and sees a black man wearing a Trump mugshot T-shirt and see if he clocks you.
Yeah, as I've said, I got into with the guy from South Carolina. I'm damn proud to be MAGA. I really am. And I'm not ashamed of it. I've never been ashamed of being MAGA. Everybody could be the Obama acolytes, but I can't say that I support somebody. And listen, I don't agree with everything Trump does. I don't agree with everything he says, but I know he's the man for the job. I know this. He's already proven what he can do and what he can be.
Yeah, and remember, a vote for Biden in November is a vote for allowing more illegal criminals to enter our country.
Correct.
That's all you got to remember. That's all you got to know. Yeah. All right, to the phone lines we go. 312-642-5600. Let's go to Bill in Waukegan. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to give a shout out to the Gold Star dad, Steve McCooey. I don't know if I pronounced his last name properly or not, but what a great outburst. If there's going to be an area or an event to make your voice heard, I have so much props for Steve McCooey. God bless him and for what he stands for. I would have done the same thing. I tell you, I'm a father of an Air Force Master Sergeant, and I got to tell you that I would have used that event for that outburst to show my anger and how the president has taken this country down. And one last thing to both of you. I just finally retired on the 29th of February after 49 years, 41 with the military and 8 with Department of Defense. So have a great weekend. I love you guys.
Wow. Thank you so much for your service. Good job. Great. And this is the moment where Steve McCooey took it to Biden.
All Americans deserve the freedom to be safe. And America is safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history. It was then through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might add.
He was shouting Abby Gates, 13 Marines killed.
Right.
Because his son, Lance Colonel Kareem, was killed by a terrorist suicide bomber during Joe Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan.
You mean the real insurrection?
Yeah.
That was an insurrection. That was a real insurrection. You want to call what happened in J6 an insurrection? No. Look at what happened in Afghanistan. Look what's happened in Nigeria. Those are insurrections.
And when it came to Jan 6th, ooh, boy.
January 6th lies about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You're comparing January 6th to the most deadly war. We lost more Americans than any other war because we were fighting against each other.
Yeah.
The Civil War. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
All right. Tom in Blue Island. Good
There he
morning,
is.
Tom. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Amy. John, my man.
What's up, brother?
Hey, just real quick before we go any further, everybody watch out for Steve that just got off the phone. He could be deep state if he was in the Department of Defense for 7 years. Just kidding. Hey, John, I'm going to lay something out to you tomorrow.
Okay.
On why Trump has to pick Ron DeSantis as his running mate. So
that's who I've called for. I called.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
listen,
want Ron DeSantis to be in charge of Department of Defense. But now
he's got to be the next president, Amy, after Trump, and I'm going to make a good argument tomorrow to John on why I think Trump is going to do it.
quite the tease. Okay.
Did he hang up?
Yeah. Hey, yesterday, if any of us were teenagers or early 20s and you were sitting around having drinking games, and when the fool in charge was going to repeat something, I would have bet it was going to be MAGA extremists. But in actuality, what it ended up being was history is going to judge us. If that guy was going to say history is going to judge us one more time, I think my head was going to pop off. And the only thing that's right about that is history's going to judge this guy to be a fool. Now, the bigger point, though, is we hear over and over that the Trump supporters are decidedly for Trump, not going to change their minds, and that the Biden voters are decidedly for Biden. And there's just a small percentage of people, who are the quote-unquote great unwashed, as Rush used to call them, the undecideds. And you would have thought if you were trying to make a case against an opponent, you would have at least had the nuts to say his name as opposed to saying over and over, my predecessor. It was as if, Amy, it was if he was afraid that if he said Trump's name a couple too many times that he was going to pop out on that dais like Beetlejuice and start slapping the crap out of him.
Okay. All right, Tom. Thank you so
Have
much.
a good day, my man.
All right.
See you tomorrow. Well, you'll hear him tomorrow. All right, let's take a break from the State of the Union. Ralph and Wilmette, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. Pardon, Amy. The high school basketball issue with the guy playing on the girls' team and injuring three other players. I would think that if you're on a team, and actually, a girl on a team, if you injure another player or especially two other players, wouldn't you get a penalty or be pulled out of the game for some rule?
Technical, possibly. Yeah, no, he wasn't. He actually ended up injuring three players, and that was all before halftime. And then the coach was like, you know what? I'm out. My bench is dwindling, and we have a playoff game next week, and I'm out of here. So they took their toys and went home. But
wouldn't the player who's injuring other players, wouldn't they be pulled out for doing that?
I don't know. It depends. It all depends on the referees, and you never know what you're going to get with a referee. Thanks, Ralph, for the phone call. Let's see. Rich, our good friend Rich in Indian Head Park. Good morning, Rich.
Hey, good morning, Amy. Good morning, John. How you guys doing today?
All right.
Good.
Well, what I took away from last night was the response to Biden was all about the American people and their struggle under Biden, whereas Biden was more of a campaign speech trolling for votes. He bragged about how many jobs he created, Well, we really know that over 12 million of them came back from when COVID hit. And he keeps saying that every time he talks that he saved $1 trillion in the deficit. Well, if he did, how come the deficit keeps going up? And another thing is, he keeps talking about getting votes when he brings up abortion and IVF, and talks about how Congress should do something about the borders. Well, nobody can do anything about the borders but him. All he has to do is reverse his predecessor's policies, and everything will be okay. And the last thing is, and the most important thing is, and the biggest lie is, that the economy is good and inflation is down. So if we don't get this next election stolen from us, I think this will be the last time you hear from him on a State of the Union. Thanks, guys. You guys have a nice weekend.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it.
Said that?
Well, it is the last State of the Union before the November election.
Do you know who actually said that?
What?
That General Mike Flynn. When I emceed that event. He basically said, if Trump doesn't win this election, America's going to be in a deep hurt, and he's afraid of what they're going to do. Remember,
our economy is going to
the
crumble.
NSA
We
guy.
will be in a recession.
He knows more about this stuff than
I
we
know.
do. He was an NSA guy. He was there. He saw the secrets. He saw the dirt. He saw the ugliness. That's
Did
why.
he
That's why
release
Obama.
any? Did he say anything more?
He
or
said he's
just
writing
that?
a book.
Oh,
But that's why. Remember when Barack came, Trump. He told Trump, "Watch out for North Korea, and Michael Flynn." The two. That's the only thing he said. That's the advice he gave Trump. Watch out for North Korea and General Mike Flynn.
Why?
Obama was afraid of him. He knows the dirt. He knows where the bodies are. Just like former Governor Rod Blagojevich knows where the dirt is and where the bodies are.
Oh, yeah. Dawn in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for taking my phone call. Listen, I think we do need to look at this objectively, and I was happy to hear President Biden say he wanted to expand high-quality tutoring and summer learning for students who can't read by third grade. Hopefully we've got a plan for kids who can't read after third grade. But I thought that was good. I did like hearing that. But, he really kind of confused me. I thought the purpose of this State of the Union was to give the current health of America. So, you have to put it in perspective for people. So you're going to explain, here was the baseline function of when I took office. These are the programs I put in place. And you might give data, you might give stats. And then here's the current function of the economy or border security. Or,
right.
The problem is the current function has to be tied to what people are experiencing at home. You can't be dismissive. And the problem is he was so dismissive especially when he was talking about the economy. And at the end of the day, people are going to vote with their wallet. They vote with facts. And I think he did more harm to himself only because he was so dismissive. I mean, it was not effective. And that's why you're not even going to talk about your opponent. Why would you even talk about your opponent? You're going to be bragging so much about what you did.
Right.
And the problem to me is he didn't really have anything to brag about.
No, that's
true.
why
That's
the
true.
speech should have been like Richard Nixon's back in the day when it was 29 minutes. That's what I wanted them to tighten it up. But yes. All right. Thanks, Dawn. Oh, yes, Dawn?
Thanks, Amy. Amy, I have one question. Do you ever watch The Crown?
Oh, of
Yes.
course. I'm a chick.
I do. Hey, I watch it. What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm
right.
sorry.
You
Check
brought
your
up-
gender at the door.
Hey.
Yes.
You brought up Margaret Thatcher and the quote that Nikki Haley did, but I was wondering if the No Enemies poem, I thought Gillian Anderson did her very well. She seemed a little on the stiff side, but I would love if Frank from Arlington Heights could do some history about Margaret Thatcher and specifically that poem.
Oh.
But
We can
No
ask him.
Enemies is an excellent poem.
Okay. Thank you, Dawn.
Hey, well, come
Appreciate
on.
it. I got a chance to meet Margaret Thatcher, but I couldn't ask her any questions.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was,
cool.
it was in
You
Tucson.
get a picture?
No.
Yeah.
It was a very, very staged event. It was, she walked, where was that, Las Palmas? Or, I can't remember. The Dove, whatever the Dove
I
is
don't
in
know.
Spanish.
Yeah.
And she came out, and she was very nice. And I was like, hi, can I ask you a question?
No.
And smile and wave, and then walk right back in. So that's my brush with Margaret.
You know, I'm watching this show. You ever heard this show called The Rookie?
No.
It's a police show, right? About a rookie coming on. I mean, it's turned very left now. I finally caught up. I'm on season 6 now.
Well, don't watch it anymore.
No, but
don't give them money.
It still reminds me.
Don't give them hits and clicks.
It still reminded me of when I was a cop. So that's what I like about it.
Is it on Netflix? Did you say?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu.
Well, it comes on ABC 7. But
oh
I don't
yeah,
have TV.
that's. Yeah.
I don't have an antenna.
So that's Hulu. Yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay, Terry in Rogers Park. Good morning. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Okay, maybe teachers don't teach kids reading and writing is because teachers weren't taught how to teach reading and writing by the colleges they went to.
Oh, okay. That's a possibility. Thanks, Terry. I real quickly want to tell you about bank jacking. I've been trying to get this. Well, this is your public service announcement for all you ladies and maybe you men who live in Chicago. We have carjacking. But now we have bank jacking. And here's a victim of bank jacking and what went down on Roscoe and Damien, one of the bars around there.
We had 3 guys come out of the car, all 3 of them armed with guns, masked, hooded, demanding all of our stuff. They were all holding their guns up to me, telling me to give them my passcodes to my phone.
And guess what they did?
What?
So they did passcode for the phone or Face ID, and then everybody has their mobile app. On your phone. They drained her bank account. They drained her savings account.
Zelle or?
With Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, but they drain, because if they get your information, then they can just go to town. And the banks will not reimburse you.
But they're sending it to a place where the police can track, though, right?
It's not. They get that money and go before police. You just heard Gary McCarthy, the former superintendent. They're not arresting people.
Yeah.
So delete. Here's your PSA for today. When you're walking around the city, delete your mobile banking app because that is the best way to protect yourself. And how many people have their credit card apps?
A lot of them.
I mean, come on. Or click Apple Pay. You can just buy some. Boop.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I disconnected all that.
Oh,
yeah,
you did?
I disconnected. I can't use Cash Apps. I can't do any of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do that?
Partly for that reason, but I just didn't want all my information, especially with AI and all that. I heard Dan yesterday talking about, was it Sean Thompson talking about he's a big supporter of AI. I don't trust AI.
Oh, I don't trust AI.
I don't trust it. I don't trust phones.
So AI, we were talking about Tyler Perry, how he was going to build this big complex in Georgia to expand his movie studio. And then he saw one film on AI. Yeah. What was it called? Something with an S. And then decided, I don't need to do that. So people are going to lose their jobs in Hollywood. Oh, so sad, too bad. But I met this kid, John, who was at Georgia Tech, France with my son. And his dad is a stunt car driver.
Oh.
And has been. So I said, well, where are you from? I was just talking to him. And he's like, well, I grew up in California. My dad's a stunt car driver. And then we moved out to Georgia because, that's like a mini Hollywood. And there's work in Nashville and all that. He said, but they don't need him anymore.
No.
Or his whole group. They don't need, because they have AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, that's an industry we don't rarely think about. But that's something else that's being destroyed because of technology.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm surely becoming one.
Uh-oh, what do you got?
No, I'm just saying.
Are you a mini David Kulsak?
Right. I mean, because you're starting to see. I didn't like the guy. What's the guy that got sued for $1 billion? The turtles. I mean the frogs.
Turtles?
The frogs. Remember, he's the guy
Carpet
that said
lamp. What are we?
Alex Jones.
Okay, Alex.
I wasn't a big fan of him. But when you look at almost everything he said, has come to pass, Amy. That's scary.
I can't listen to him because of the Sandy Hook thing. I'm
just saying that's scary. That's scary.
All right. Let's end our argument here. Carol in Moments, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, good morning. How are you guys this morning?
Doing well.
Okay. Well, I think President Biden missed an excellent opportunity to promote his anti-obesity program with, groceries being 20% more and packaging being smaller. That's an anti-obesity program right there. You just sort of dwindle down.
That's a good idea. Thanks, Carol. Appreciate you. Let's go to Kevin in Austin, Texas.
Uh-oh.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Now that Trump is
going to be the nominee, it's important that he's going to need backup in the U.S. House. And there are going to be at least 4 opportunities that they're focusing on in Illinois for congressional seats, 6, 11, 14, and 17. I think it's important that your listeners who get engaged in those campaigns, because he's going to need backup in the House. The Republicans, they have 2-seat majority right now?
Right.
It's not enough.
No, I know. It gets me. I lose sleep.
Because they
kicked
kicked somebody out. Yeah.
Well, George Santos was there last night.
I'm sorry. They should have never done that. Republicans are this is how stupid and dumb the Republicans are. You kick out somebody. No, the voters put him in there. Let the voters kick him out.
Right.
That's simple. But you plan alone because
his lies kept. I mean, when
I
he
don't
said
care.
he was a libero in college, I'm like, that is the end of the line for
nope.
me. I'm done.
Let the voters decide. Let the voters decide in this next election. If they don't want him there, they'll kick him out. I just believe that.
Okay. All right. Who's also as frustrated as you maybe is Ken in Geneva here on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hi, Ken.
Hi, great show. I was frustrated because the media that built Biden to be a bumbling idiot, that he would trip on his shoelace, he actually exceeded expectations because expectations were so low, and he pre-sold his audience the need to vote for Congress. So we got to be careful not to be lulled into this belief that he's a total dolt. He is a dolt, but he's not a total dolt. He actually finished his speech. So we got to watch out. They're a little more cunning than we think, and I think this was a warning shot that, hey, we're starting to take it for granted and joke around about this dolt, but he actually finished his speech without tripping on his shoelace, which is exceeding expectations.
Yeah, he didn't fall down.
I totally agree.
That's right. And he didn't fall asleep before I did. I nodded off before he did.
You saw the moments where it was happening. Every time he got interrupted, that's
then I woke. That's when I was like, wait.
That's why he reached for the water. He reached down for the water.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, he was easily distracted.
Yeah, easily. Especially MTG.
Oh man,
she's
got
savage.
some onions. Woo.
She's a savage.
Carl in Marionette Park. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Amy and John. I just wanted to make a quick comment. I'm sorry I can't articulate so well, and it's hard for me to speak because of a chronic illness. But I think it was despicable when Joe Biden had mentioned Lakey Riley only being one statistic because of the thousands and thousands of immigrants coming over here. He spit on her grave is what he did. She's somebody's daughter and granddaughter and sibling and best friend, and he sweeps it under the rug like it's no big deal.
I know. There was no sincerity there. He was just going through the motions, and he did grab a pin, a Laken Riley pin from Marjorie Taylor Greene on the way in, which I was surprised.
Yeah.
And she's like, say her name.
Was that what he was showing? That pin?
Yes, because because he grabbed it. Yeah. It was near his glass of water. Grabbed it, and then he was like, I am saying her name, Lincoln Riley.
Yeah,
like, no, she's not the football coach at USC. All right, let's go to Michael in Crown Point. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey,
yeah,
Michael.
hello. I just wanted to make a comment as far as what you guys were talking about earlier in the segment, as far as like constitutional policing done by in Chicago, and then how that kind of refers to the situation in New York as far as the National Guard being deployed there. It's not constitutional policing. What's being done in those New York subways is just a crazy violation of your Fourth Amendment rights. They can't just illegally search your property without telling you, without probable cause or anything like that. And just wanted to say, we need to get back to the roots of true constitutional policing. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true, because a lot of people are not taking the subway because of that, because they don't want the cops going through their bags.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it's not they're not doing anything nefarious, but they don't want.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't take it?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
What I found was amazing was that before COVID, 5 million people a day took the subway. Mm-hmm. Guess what it's at now? 3 million. 3 million.
Oh, really?
2
in Chicago
million?
or New York?
No, New York.
Okay.
Yeah, New York. All right, let's close it out with Chuck from Delavan. Hi, Chuck. How are you?
Hey, Phil and Reggie, Mike and Barb, see you tonight at Foley's for karaoke. Yesterday was the 7th year since Donald Trump had Ryan Owens' widow from Peoria stand up and be honored in the upper balconies there. And she was standing there crying. Her husband died protecting our country, and not one Democrat stood up and clapped. When you cannot honor the widow of a fallen soldier, that was the day our country died. We do not have a country. And everybody that's all worried about crime, open carry. That's what you got to do. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you too. Thanks so much, Chuck, and thanks to everyone. So, tomorrow on your show, I'm looking forward to. I did listen last time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So it's oh wow, what did I talk about? I don't know.
know.
My brain
Something.
scrambled eggs after 4 hours. But 4 to 7.
4 to 7
tomorrow
right.
on Black and White Radio, right
Sure.
here on AM 560. The Answer. Your merchandise can be found.
blackandwhiteradio.com.
blackandwhiteradio.com.
Yes.
All right. Our thanks to Justin Kosick, our lockdown correspondent. Thank you very much, and technical producer, and Quinn McCarthy, our executive producer. We appreciate you both very much. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy. Oh, and don't forget, we got to spring ahead so we lose an hour of sleep.
No, just go to bed earlier. You don't lose an hour. Just go to bed earlier.
No, I don't agree with that. I think
No,
we gain
you don't
an
lose
hour
an
in the
hour
fall,
sleep.
we lose
you
an hour.
just go to bed. Just go to bed
Okay,
earlier.
Dad.
Just go
Thanks.
to bed earlier. It's what we farmers learned a long time ago. Measles diagnosed for the first time since 2019 in Chicago.